Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood After Dark, episode 43. Today, of course, is the 5th of August, 2021. Finally, the Suicide Squad is released to the masses. People flocking to HBO Max and theaters to watch probably the biggest spectacle of the season. And, of course, South Park renewed for what is probably one of the best deals of all time. We're going to be talking about that and more here on Hollywood After Dark right fucking now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to the show tonight. My name is Matt Jarbo, joined tonight by my pal RJ. RJ, what's up, man?
Doing pretty good. I caved into peer pressure. I watched the Suicide Squad tonight on HBO Max, and what a fucking great time that was.
Yeah, and when he says cave to peer pressure, I was on him so hard in the DMs.
You really were multiple times today.
I was like, just watch it, RJ. He's like, I'm gonna watch it in theaters. No, just watch it. Just watch it right now. Just watch it right now. And he's like, no, I'm good, man. I held off for Thor Ragnarok. And I'm like, yeah, that was different. That's Thor Ragnarok. This is the Suicide Squad. You can watch it right now. It's on your home TV. You don't got to go anywhere. You don't even got to wear pants. It's right there. It's available. And then he finally watched it, of course, and he was like, he told me that it was great. But before we dive into everything, let me quickly just give a quick shout out here to the chat. I see we got Geeks Luke Rhea, the ultimate spider critic. We got Bradley, Anthony Chabot, Yvonne Drake, a bunch of other people. I just want to make sure that I say Jess is here, Andrew's here. A lot of other people hanging out tonight. Thank you guys so much. I want to start off tonight by asking you guys a question. And this is also for people who are watching on the VOD, because we've actually been doing really well where we get a fair amount of viewers in the VOD here. Here's my question to you guys. Which movie best describes the 1990s? I'm very curious to know your thought. Which movie do you think best describes the 90s and feel and tone? Those of you who were alive back then. And if you weren't alive back then, which movie do you think probably is the best one? Because that, of course, is always something I'm fascinated by as a 80s, 90s kid myself. I know, RJ, you were born what, the late 90s?
99.
You're born 99. Yeah, I was born in 82. So it's a completely different world. However, you've seen a lot of films from the 90s and you might have your own idea, but I want you guys in the chat to answer. And if you're watching this on the VOD, please also chime in with your thoughts on it. I want to start asking some questions of the audience to make sure you guys know that I want to hear your input. I want to hear your thoughts. So real quick here, give a quick shout out to the channel members. You guys are awesome. You guys help keep the channel going, keep the channel afloat. Thank you. You can join by finding a link in the video description. Also, we do have the Hollywood After Dark August giveaway, which will be Howard the Duck in 4K. So if you want to see Howard the Duck in glorious 4K resolution, and by that I really mean Leah Thompson in underwear, join. Become a channel member. Drop a super chat. That's how you do it. And also today, you may have noticed I put up a video going after Grace Randolph, but I didn't drop it on this channel. This is also spoilers to Suicide Squad. I didn't drop it on that channel. I dropped it over on the Hollywood After Dark Real Board channel, which is a channel I'm repurposing for rants and raves and everything else on the meantime. So that is my shilling for the night. That is, I just had to get that out of the way.
Someone who watched that video right after I watched the movie, it's actually, I watched Grace's spoiler review, and all I can say is, WTF, what the hell is she talking about?
And we'll talk about Grace's review later on. I mean, I rarely watch a review that actually makes me like angry. And then
it's like such bad takes. It's ridiculous.
It is. And it's not just her. I've noticed that people that are sympathetic, I'm not calling them simps, but people who are sympathetic to Grace Randolph are like kind of, and also sympathetic to like Zack Snyder and David Ayer are coming at this movie with like some really interesting takes that I find to just be relatively ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I just find it to be relatively ridiculous, some of the takes I'm seeing tonight, but we will talk all about that. So I want to get through some of the news today because there's actually a fair amount to see here. Every day I feel like new things are happening, and we got to keep on it, RJ. We got to keep on it. Like, this is the big one of today. Did you hear about South Park?
Yeah, I did Twitter Spaces earlier today, pretty much just as this news broke, and it's really cool to see. Paramount Plus being in the equation was something that feels like a no-brainer, but for some reason I wasn't thinking about it because I thought, oh, they're gonna do HBO Max stuff.
Yeah, I thought they're going to HBO Max because they had signed that deal for the other 24 seasons or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised when I woke up and it's all like it gets 14 Paramount Plus movies and a multi-season renewal.
Yeah, how what they say, like it's gonna go on for like another 6-7 seasons until 2027.
Well, I mean that would put it at well over 30 years.
That's crazy to think about.
You know, a little bit, yeah. Because I remember I was 15 the very first time I saw South Park. Like I remember watching The Spirit of Christmas in my German 2 high school class. The teacher did not know what it was that we were downloading to her computer. And we watched it. We all loved it. And then after that, the TV show came. And that was a big cultural thing in the 90s. That was a huge cultural thing in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And even in the early 2000s, that show in the first couple seasons were absolutely amazing. And that show, I still love the show to this day. But let's quickly find out more here. So MTV Entertainment Studios. That sounds like such a weird thing to say because when's the last time MTV has been entertaining? Did you see what was on their lineup for their 40th anniversary?
Probably nothing good.
Oh my God. Let's see if I can find that tweet here real quick because I'm not kidding you when I say this. It was mind-boggling how far MTV has effing fallen, man. You know, I'm not even gonna say effing, fucking fell.
Are they doing more 16 and pregnant seasons?
No, I didn't see any 16 and pregnant. I'll tell you that. I've never also watched that show because 16-year-olds pregnant aren't exactly my jam. I don't feel like doing all that stuff. But we did find out that they were showing pretty much just one show. And I might not be able to find it because it was kind of a couple days ago, and I post a lot of gifs on Twitter.
Oh, is it that Rob Dyrdek ridiculousness show?
It was ridiculousness. Like the whole day was ridiculousness. That is what we saw on fucking MTV.
Listen. If it's not Rob and Big, I don't want to see it. Rob and Big was great. I love.
Isn't Big dead though? Big died, right?
Yeah, Big passed away sadly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that is sad. That is definitely sad. Well, I mean, but at the same time, that this is what MTV has relegated itself to. It has very much just found itself rooted in all of this nonsense that is not what it was originally designed for. And I understand that the music and music television at this point is probably gone, that it could stand for media. Entertainment network. I kind of call it masochistic entertainment network.
Why don't they do stuff like MTV produces like an original series, biographical series on I don't know, Whitney Houston or famous rappers or something?
Because if that's not going to, unless they're going to focus on Whitney Houston's crack addiction, which is one of the key things that led to her death.
You could dive into controversial stuff about these musicians, do documentaries, do some really cool stuff like that.
Oh, they could, but I mean, at the same time, it's kind of
bring the music back to MTV just through entertainment purposes.
Well, I remember when they were here's the best idea to move forward is let's do MTV2. And MTV2 will have all of the music video content that we took away from MTV. We're going to put it on this whole new channel. And then they said, you know where MTV is really popular? It's really popular on college campuses because that's, to be fair, I think always where MTV was the most popular, high school and college. And then they said, let's do MTV U. That was a channel they put out. MTV University, all college-themed type stuff. And I'm not going to lie, for a while, it kind of came across a little bit like kind of a rape factory. So, what I mean by that is the kind of content they were putting out. You're like, oh, someone's getting roofied.
Oh, God.
Hey, man, look, I lived in San Diego when the Real World House was there, And that was a big thing back in the early 2000s when it was like, oh, wow, the Real World House. My friend and I went down there and checked it out one night when they weren't taping. They weren't living in there. You know what I mean? It's just, I hate reality television. Anyway, let's find out more here. So they have officially announced that their long-running animated sitcom South Park has been granted a multi-season renewal by Comedy Central, which will extend the series' run on the network through its 30th season. The renewal is part of South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone's newly signed deal with Viacom CBS, which, according to Bloomberg, is around $900 million.
Insane. They almost got to $1 billion dollars. That's
I would have
crazy
held
to
out
me.
for a cool bill, to be honest with you. I would have held out for a cool billion, just if anything, for one point in your life to just to pull a Dr. Evil and go $1 billion and have it actually mean something.
Right.
I would hire Mike Myers. If I was going to get $1 billion, I would hire Mike Myers to dress up like Dr. Evil, to talk like Lorne Michaels again, and do the bit. Just that I would go, what do you want, Michael? And he'd probably be like, I don't know, a valid career again. Like, I'd make it happen. Michael Myers, I'd make it happen. I would give you Wayne's World 3, because that was also a Paramount movie, by the way. So they could do Wayne's World 3, provided that Dana Carvey and Michael Myers become friends again.
Yeah. Someone in the chat brings up a good point. They're going to use the money to buy Casa Bonita.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that kind of seems to make the most amount of sense, because at some point in time in your life, you get so goddamn rich that what are you going to spend the money on? Like, remember when Tyler Perry turned 40? You probably don't remember this. Tyler Perry, when he turned 40, was like, I'm going to buy an island. Because he was so rich that he had everything else he wanted.
Yeah. But you're so rich, you just start spending on crazy things.
He's like, I'm going to buy an island, and I'm not going to call it Tyler Perry's Island. He said this. Like, he's not going to call it Tyler Perry's Island. And that was the funny thing about it.
Is he going to call it Medea's Island?
I don't know. I don't know.
That'll be probably the plot for the next Medea movie if they make one.
Well, they're not going to stop because they keep making money.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So here's the thing. So Paramount Plus has also ordered 14 original South Park movies, which are set to premiere throughout the course of the 6 years. The first 2 films are currently slated to debut sometime this year.
14 is crazy.
And it's like, but think about that. So a movie, right, is going to be like Imagination Land. Because Imagination Land was effectively South Park the movie part 2, right? It was effectively South Park the movie 2. And Imagination Land,
those 2-part specials, kind of. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was a 3-parter. They had the 2-parter with like the chinchillas.
Oh, what was the one that they did? The multiple part ones about Black Friday with the PlayStation 4 coming out.
Oh, right. Yeah, that tied into the Stick of Truth video game.
I love that.
The console war. That was a console wars episodes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You could chalk, because that was 3 episodes as well. You could chalk that up to that, because it was supposed to. The final episode ended with them holding up the Stick of Truth, and that was meant to like tie in right to the video game. But the video game had been delayed from like December or November, whatever, all the way till the following March. And so they couldn't, they had to wait a little bit of time in order to be able to get it. I thought that was pretty funny, to be honest with you. I thought that was like, because again, they had the 3-episode tie-in. They did like the startling with the chinchillas. That was all kind of like point of view found footage. They've done a lot of these kind of cliffhanger episodes before, and they could turn them into something, and they kind of play out like mini movies. And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen, because if they're only going to do these short, like 8 to 10 episode seasons, putting out 2 movies a year, something along those lines, is going to ultimately be only like an additional 6, maybe 7 episodes. And that's not going to take them like very long to do. So I kind of see that as being the reason why they're doing this. Do you think
this is the end of South Park, though? That once like this contract ends, the show will end with the 30th season and the last original movie on Paramount Plus?
It's entirely possible, but then again, if they
a long deal, you know,
that is a long deal, but it's 2021. That's 6 years and $900 million. You know what I mean? Like after a while, it's like they might want to end it, which maybe they should end it at 30. Like at this point, they've gone far into boomer territory. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe they don't want it to be like The Simpsons, where it just kind of feels like it's pumping the well dry constantly. I mean, we don't know. And but I'm really interested to know more about this, because I still love South Park. It's wildly relevant and irreverent to our current culture.
It'll be South Park sells out.
Yeah, probably. And Cartman will make fun of the fact that they got paid all this money, you know, or maybe we'll get some more Chim Pokemon or something along those lines. All I know is it's South Park, and I'm happy because I effing love South Park, man.
Yeah, I mean, I still need to watch the COVID specials they did, but I hear they're amazing.
COVID special's pretty funny. It is really funny. All right, let me just get into some super chats here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get to them in between some of the news bits tonight. Duck Dodgers, 24th and a half century. $5 says Pulp Fiction, Face Off, Con Air, The Rock, Shawshank Redemption. 8, either great movies or cheesy 90s fun. Those are good films. I'll raise you one, though. You forgot Forrest Gump.
That was a 90s movie. That's
That
right.
wasn't that actually beat out Shawshank and Pulp Fiction for Best Picture. If you were listening to last night's episode of Hollywood After Dark, you would have heard that from Vito Gasoldi. Oh, by the way, real quick, I got a couple messages from people out there who really liked Vito being on the show. And I really want to give a shout out to him again. I want to thank him for coming on. I think anyone who comes on, but we thought it was going to be a bit spicy. It got a little bit spicy. I got messaged by one guy today who told me that he listened to the episode twice. Now, I don't know if he bailed out when Vito left at the 2-hour mark, but he listened to it twice. And he was very happy with that. I'm not going to lie, that kind of made my day. You know, if someone's investing 4 hours to listening to me and someone else talk about movies, I'm always appreciative. And I think that. And I thank you, RJ, for being here. I always enjoy having you around.
No, of course.
I invited, I invited Annie to come on as well, but they haven't seen Suicide Squad yet, so they don't want to get spoiled. And I totally get that. All right, and then I saw that we also had, oh, come on, dude. Grace Randolph was born a dude. No, come on. All right, so let's see. Okay, Command Unit 30 shekels, man. I think he says, Grace is fun to watch because she has some weird takes like shipping Ahsoka and Rex.
Okay, pause real quick. Do you know about that?
No.
So she watched the final season of Clone Wars without watching any of the show before, and she said when she reviewed the finale, she said, "Oh, it's clear that these two there's like a romantic connection between the two, and that would be interesting to explore in the Mandalorian season 2 or whatever." And people were like, "What are you talking about? You crazy woman! Go watch the actual show and just review the final season."
No way.
Yeah, she said these two look like they have a romantic connection. They're obviously flirting.
Like, how do you know?
I think I broke Matt.
Oh my god, no way. What? I mean, like, look, man, oh my god, no, come on.
She didn't watch the rest of the series. She only watched the finale. Not only did she only watch the finale, she only watched the 4 episodes at the end with the Siege of Mandalore.
Oh, she only watches. Jeez, how do you only watch the Siege of Mandalore? Like, oh my god, man. Oh, jeez. The quote Morty. Oh, geez. Oh, man. I don't know.
By the way,
Rick.
she did review The Bad Batch, the premiere, but she hasn't reviewed the show since. And
she probably, I'm pretty sure she didn't care for that one. Oh my God, dude. That's so funny. Anyway, sorry. I gotta. That is like.
Yeah, people are giving her crap in the comments. Like, why do you think they should be a couple?
Why?
It's like, she's like romantic interest.
She's like what? Like what? 20 in Ahsoka is like 20 or something. She was like 14 in the first season. You know,
I think she's like 20, 22.
Yeah, by the time I forget the difference. I thought it was like between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith was only like I think like a couple years. But anyway, she's a young woman. Ahsoka's a young woman. And Rex is like clearly like oh my God, man.
Well, he's a clone too, and they age faster.
They age well. No, they were genetically engineered to age faster. They were aged to a certain point, but we don't know if they aged to a certain point and then stopped aging. At least I don't know. It could be a thing. I have no idea. Oh my God, Grace. Touch grass, please. Oh my God. At this point, I think Grace is just drunk when she's on camera.
I heard that she got drunk at a con one time.
I met her at VidCon 2018, and I met her very briefly, and she was very disheveled, like more than usual. And so, like, it was weird. Because like when you watch Grace, I think she's on uppers, if I'm being honest with you. I think she's on uppers. And I get it. You have to be, really over the top energetic. That's kind of her shtick. But like you'll watch like her, this is what I don't get. This woman like lives in New York. She's got nearly 1 million subs. She makes a lot of money, still cannot upgrade her fucking webcam. I don't get that.
Well, she also watches movies on a tiny TV that sits on the floor of her apartment.
Okay.
There's a picture of that. She was watching a movie that she was reviewing. Like she had a screener. She was watching the movie on the floor. So, wow. Yeah.
Well, I stand by my
Listen, the apartment that she needs to film her videos in, she has a nice background of the city, is very important.
Yes, it's very important to realize that she's like 15, 16 stories up in New York talking about have you guys heard about the latest coming out of Walt Disney? Oh my God, it is insane.
Let me post spoilers of the Suicide Squad all over my Twitter hours.
Oh, she was. Oh my God, yeah. We'll get into that one. That was pretty bad. And then let's see, Moisture here, $5. Thank you. Says, didn't HBO Max spend $500 million for South Park streaming rights in 2019? Yes.
And that's what I was going to ask you. What happens with the HBO Max deal? When does that expire? And is Paramount Plus going to get the?
I don't know.
Rights?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing: is Paramount Plus, like South Park Studios owns the rights to that show, and so they own the rights to it. So that's how they were able to make that deal with HBO Max. Paramount is basically going like, look, all the new shit has to be on here. Now, I don't know if HBO Max is going to get the rights to that after the fact, right? Because, you know, that's been happening with HBO Max now, where certain movies will leave and they'll go to someplace else, like and then they'll come back for a little bit. Like, it's such a weird world right now when it comes to streaming, because we literally don't know where anything's going to be. And you would figure something like Warner Brothers owned property would stay on Warner Brothers, but no. You never know. You just never know.
It's really weird. That's why I'm going to be interested to see what happens.
Let's see. Command Unit here. Thank you, man. It says, I think older cameras don't show as many flaws. Like, I get that, man. I totally get that. Like, my camera's nice. I just don't feel like being on camera most of the time, which is why I'm not.
I give her credit. It's hard to do like streams the way she does and the videos be on camera like 24/7, putting on makeup, making sure you look presentable. It's tough,
Wait. Oh, I thought she just rolls out of bed. Like her hair. I'm not like criticizing her like in a negative.
For her streams, I don't think she does, but a lot of her professional videos, like she really gets dressed up for them, like a lot.
Well, I mean, some of the ones, and then you'll watch like her Game of Thrones, and she's like just sitting there, looking like
because some of them she does them like right out of bed when she watches the episode, which is perfectly fine. I do the same thing. I can't judge her for that.
Yeah, no, I don't fault her from that either. I'm literally dressed for bed right now, because when I'm done with the stream, I go to bed. So that's how that works. Anyway, okay, so Sandman wrapped filming today. I saw. I don't know much about the character. But I am looking forward to it because Gaiman's involved, and I think that when you have the actual creator heavily involved in the production of the show, you get something that I think is perhaps better.
Yeah, it's funny though. Some people are saying that the casting for Sandman's woke, and then Neil Gaiman's like, "Just shut the fuck up, you idiots," on Twitter, which is really funny.
Yeah, he's been pretty vocal about calling those people out. Because here's the thing: those people aren't the audience. They aren't the audience. And they're not going to be the audience, and they're the ones that are going to find anything they can to attack it. And as we do discuss those people relatively frequently here on the podcast, it is one of those things where I'm like, God.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Sandman, though. It is, I say this is another missed opportunity for HBO Max because they could add this. They licensed it out to Netflix, though, so it'll be their ill-gotten gain,
Oh no, totally. Was it Drake here says, Matt, you need to read Sandman.
It's really good. It's really, really good.
I think Ryan Hartwell sent me a Neil Gaiman comic. I gotta find it. I misplaced it. That's my bad.
Have you read the Graveyard book?
I have not.
It is a children's book, kind of like Coraline, but it's so good. I went on a road trip with my dad, and we got the audiobook from the local library. We just put it in like the CD in the car, and we just listened to it all the way there. It's fantastic because Neil Gaiman does a lot of his own audiobooks. When he reads a book, dude, it's great. It's really entertaining to listen to.
Nice. The last time I went on a road trip, I downloaded the podcast of Serial and listened to the whole Adnan Syed saga. It's a true crime podcast that's really well done. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of shit like I'm into. Like I used to be into audiobooks and like listen to a lot of them. And then, but I'll tell you the coolest thing I ever did, and then we'll jump to the next story because it kind of ties in. The coolest one I ever listened to was I was driving from San Diego to Sacramento. This was in like right early November, like right after Halloween, 2009. I just wrapped up working 3 days on a web series that starred D.B. Sweeney, Gary Graham, and Doug Jones. you would know them if you're old school sci-fi people.
Oh no, I
Doug,
love Doug Jones.
Doug is great. Doug is great. That was the last time I got a Doug hug, and I'm very jonesing for a Doug hug. Those. If you know anything about Doug Jones, he literally gives the best hugs. But we were looking for something to listen to on the drive, because once you get north of Los Angeles, the middle section of California is literally nothing. It's just desert. And we're driving. Yeah, total. And we're driving there in the middle of the night, and Coast to Coast AM, which I really like Coast to Coast AM, even though I'm not a believer. I just like listening to crackpots tell crackpotty stories. And they had their Halloween episode that was just up, and it was Ghost to Ghost. And the entire episode was people just calling in with their ghost stories. And so my girlfriend passed out. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm just driving up the I-5 North. There's like barely anyone else on the road. It's all darkness all around me. And I'm just listening to all of these people tell all of these ghost stories about their encounters. It was just creepy cool.
Yeah, ghost stories on the road are the best.
Those are just, I was sitting there like, I wish I still was a smoker.
Well, if you like ghost stories, like I said, dude, read The Graveyard Book. It's a great kid's book. Like, it is a kid's book, but it's like, well, it's more like a teenage book, but it's like really, really good. And you listen to him read it, it's fantastic. I think you'd really dig it if you like ghost story stuff.
Yeah, no, I love that kind of stuff. Let's see here. The showrunner from Brandon Caliper, thank you for the $2, sir. The showrunner was the writer for Wonder Woman. Are you talking about
Alan Heinberg?
For Sandman?
I think so. Alan Heinberg's a great writer. He was the creator of the Young Avengers for Marvel. He wrote some comic books, and he wrote the first Wonder Woman. He was the one who came up with the idea to have Steve Trevor wash up on the beach and do like the Little Mermaid kind of shout out. That was his idea.
Oh, nice. That was a good one. Where was he on the second movie?
They didn't bring him back.
Nowhere. Yeah, I know. That's unfortunate.
Got to fix that for Wonder Woman 3.
Well, there shouldn't be a Wonder Woman 3. I'm just going to say it. Ray here says, LeVar Burton was at NorCal Comic Convention I went to, and I was too shy to go up and ask for a photo or say hi. I hear LeVar's a nice guy. I worked with...
he's so sweet. I met him at a Phoenix Comic Con. He's amazing. He's a great person.
I worked with Michael Dorn.
Oh, Dorn's great too. I met Michael Dorn at that same convention.
Him and I didn't really see eye to eye. We had a bit of an odd encounter. Because I was doing set photography and with my phone, and I was taking some interesting shots, and he, I think, thought I was getting either too close or I was trying to sneak a photo. I didn't properly introduce myself, which was my problem because I was a little nervous. Mm-hmm. And he kind of kept giving me like the side eye. He was nice enough. Robert Picardo was there the same day. Picardo was cool. And, that was a fun day to work on those things. But by the way, LeVar Burton is getting fucked out of doing, the Jeopardy.
Oh, he is. Who the hell are they bringing on?
The guy, Mike Richards. He's like executive producer of the show.
Just do LeVar Burton, for God's sakes.
I know, man. I know. Just do LeVar. Do it right. That's what everybody wants. But no. Let's see here. Carlos says, if you start reading Sandman, Jarbo, you have to read Lucifer after it. I need to watch Lucifer, too.
Yeah, the final season's coming out pretty soon.
I haven't seen any of it yet. My mom loves it. Have I seen the Jeremy Corbell and Bob Lazar interview on Joe Rogan? Am I familiar with Bob Lazar? I'm familiar with the name. It's UFOs, right? Like UFO guy. I don't know much of the work.
Yeah, the only Lazar I know is Rem Lazar.
So, but I've heard of Bob Lazar. I've heard of that with everything. Gregory DeGaffier says, creepy cool. I'll name my next cat that. Cool, man. Nice. And then we got Command Unit here with 30 more shekels, dude. Thank you so much. It says here, a good road trip audiobook is Caiaphas Cain Road to Glory. It's basically a road trip behind enemy lines. Also, it's a prequel, so you can read it out of order, and it's still my favorite of the series so far. Oh, that's the Warhammer one, right? You were sending me some links about that the other night. So we were talking about Warhammer the other night. Mm. So that's there's a lot of lore. That's the thing. Is like kind of where I don't know where maybe you, I don't know where you are or whatever, but like for me, I never really paid attention to a lot of lore like for a while. And that has a lot to do with just like, I was focused more on like learning about film and like learning about writing movies rather than I was about like exploring why characters do what characters do. And now I'm kind of in this place where like, I really like to kind of dive into like the background of the characters and get to know the history and get to know like the world. Because I feel like if the actor can believe the world that they're in, we as the audience will believe that we'll believe them, we'll believe their performance, right? We'll suspend disbelief enough. Whereas, but again, you have to create that world in order to make it believable. It's like, it's like a domino effect, right?
Right.
And I feel like so many of these things nowadays just kind of like they don't ever take the time, to really build up the world, or they do it and they go, listen, like we're gonna explain it as we go, but if it doesn't continue, then it's just gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that like I see we got. I need to read that. Thank you very much, Command Unit, because I did want to talk about this really quick, which is actually like kind of struck me by surprise. Lionsgate is making the Hunger Games prequel film. Yeah, the groaning is pretty accurate. Is doing the Lionsgate prequel film, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It will begin filming in the first half of next year, targeting for a release date either in 2023, fiscal 2023, or early 2024. And the big thing with that I find to be the most fascinating has to do with the fact that like no one is asking for this. Like no one is banging on Suzanne Collins' door.
Listen. The trend of teenage book adaptations should have died when the Divergent series got canceled. Okay.
Now, did that die before or after Mockingjay Part 2?
I believe after.
Okay.
It was after Part 2 and after Maze Runner finished up, I believe. Because they were going to do all the rest of the movies like on like, what was it? Like a cable, like AMC or like.
Well, they were going to do like a TV show. They were going to do a TV show for like
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah. Like, but then it's like, I love my favorite thing about that franchise, about that book is like, you get to the last page of the last book. I'm going to spoil this. I don't even care.
Go ahead. No one cares.
No one cares. She dies on the last page of the last book. She sacrifices herself in order to like save everyone. I don't know how or why. I just know that fans were pissed when that book came out.
It was a bad ending. Yeah.
It was like a terrible ending. And then it's like the movie again. This is the problem with Hollywood is they go, let's do 2 films, right? Okay. Does Breaking Down need to have two parts to it? No, it doesn't.
Really. No.
It doesn't.
They did it for money.
They did it for money. Does fucking Hunger Games, Mockingjay, did it need to have 2 parts? Hell no. Because part 1 was one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing.
Not a goddamn thing happened in that movie. And then, but
they did it for money.
But I will say
the only one that it worked was
Harry Potter. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it made sense. Part 1's about finding the Horcruxes. Part 2's like the action movie. It's the climax.
Well, and it also ends with the death of Dobby, which is a good place, is a good stopping point.
It's also like the halfway point of that book.
Yeah,
too.
It really was too. Because as I was reading the book, I never finished Deathly Hallows. Actually, I got to about the halfway point where Dobby died, and something happened where I just never continued the book. And so when I saw the movie, I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. I remember this. And then I'm like, wait, should I go and like finish the book? And then, I thought to myself, I went like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to finish the last half of the book because I want to go into one of these movies absolutely fucking blind. I don't want to know what happens because at that point, I didn't know what happened. And so I went and I saw, because it just hit 10 years since Deathly Hallows Part 2, by the way, which is so weird to think that it's 10 years post Harry Potter.
To go watch that. That's crazy.
I remember I was 19 when Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out. And I remember going to the theater in mid-November to go and see it by myself because none of my friends knew what it was at the time. And I was the only one. And the only reason why I knew about it was because at work at the drive-in, they hated me. This is my first year there. They hated me because I was an asshole, and I was. And they wanted me to quit, but they didn't want to fire me. So what they did is they put me in like one of the worst positions possible, which was they kind of exiled me out to the very far end of the property by the front gate to where all the cars would come in, and my job was to check the tickets. We never did that before, and they only did it as a way to literally just get rid of me, to get me out of the way for a number of whatever hours and shit. So I'm bored out there because this is 2001, so cell phones weren't really a thing. Not everybody had them. Internet wasn't even a thing. None of that stuff. So my sister just gave me the Harry Potter books to read. And I read through them pretty quickly. I really liked them. And then from there, my bosses happened to notice that I was dedicated to the shit position. I paid my dues, so to speak, and not long afterward, I was promoted to manager. So,
Nice.
and then I worked there for a long time. So
Yeah.
sometimes in life, the moral of the fucking story is sometimes you gotta slog through shit to get to something a little bit better, and that's ultimately what I think a lot of these movies think they need to do, but they don't. They can just do these adaptations.
Yeah. I will say about this book that it is interesting because it is a prequel focusing on President Snow as a kid.
Yeah.
I've heard it's actually not a bad book, but I'm like, do we really need a movie though? I'm okay with the series being over. It doesn't really need a prequel.
Money, RJ. It's all about money. They want. When is the last time Lionsgate has had a hit outside of John Wick? They got nothing for franchises right now. Saw ain't doing that good. The Spiral kind of crashed and burned.
Was that any good? I didn't watch it.
I didn't see it. I want to because it looks really cool, but like it got kind of panned. The trailer, the marketing was pretty goddamn fantastic, But the general idea here essentially is that when you watch something like these 2-part movies, like they were so unnecessary. It's like all the 3D from back in the day, it was all wildly unnecessary. When in reality, if they wanted to make money on this shit, what they should have done is just straight up follow the Game of Thrones method, adapt the books into a series. Like why HBO right now is not or HBO Max is not figuring out any way they possibly can to make a Harry Potter adaptation. Like go back and remake all of the books into one book per season.
Wow, that's a little far. I don't know if I want a remake. I'd rather they do like a sequel series or something.
Oh, really? Because you know what, man? I want Peeves. All right, I want the Death Day party. I want the Half-Blood Prince to have an actual meaningful fucking ending. Because whatever the fuck that was. Whatever the fuck the Half-Blood Prince ending was in that was so bad because it took away all of the emotion. Like the way, because they turned the Half-Blood Prince and they took it from the book. Two things really. The ending of the Goblet of Fire literally ends with like this massive, awesome cliffhanger where you can tell the war is coming. Dumbledore knows it. They send Snape off to be with the Death Eaters because he's going back undercover in order to get the intel that they need. And the shit's getting ready to pop the fuck off. The ending of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire should have been this epic, hair-raising, nipples so hard they could cut glass fucking cliffhanger. And they dropped the ball on that shit. Then you get the Half-Blood Prince. And the Half-Blood Prince, I mean, look, from page 606 when Dumbledore dies to the end of that fucking book, essentially, to the funeral scene, Hogwarts is a goddamn war zone, right? It's a war zone. You got the Death Eaters fighting the Dumbledore army. You got it's some crazy shit. And they let it die. It just gets
It's why it's my personal least favorite of the movies.
But they could have had the same emotional impact of who the Half-Blood Prince is rather than treating it like it was just nothing.
Yeah, I know. They dropped the ball. That's the one movie they dropped the ball on.
They dropped the ball on Prisoner of Azkaban too. Let's be fair. Come on.
Oh, no. I love that movie.
It was the best directed of the films, but it was the least of an adaptation because that damn thing, it moved around so much. It changed. I mean, even at the end of that fucking movie, when they're talking to David Thewlis and Thewlis like taps on the Marauders map and he's like, bam. And he does it. Like they never ask a follow-up question. He never explains who the people on the map are. If you've read the book, you know who the names are. You know who Pads and Prongfoot are, right? You know all these things because you've read the book, but in the movie, they don't explain it. They gloss over it like crazy. So it's like little things like that. You know what I mean? Like I can move past like Peeves, right? You know what they also butchered, what they also fucked up on? The ending of book 5. When Sirius Black is dead and Harry is at the castle, he's at Hogwarts, and nearly headless Nick, like by the way, the last time you ever get to see nearly headless Nick, he shows up and Harry's like, why didn't he come back? Why didn't Sirius come back? What's going on? And he's just pleading with Nick to get the answers for why Sirius didn't come back and why he's not a ghost and why he's not there. And Nick just tells him, some people choose to say, some people don't. And that's really what it is. But it's such a little poignant moment that was such a very awesomely handled moment in the book that they didn't even give us like the proper closure on that front in a world that has actual ghosts. No, I'm sorry. I get a little bit like worked up over Harry Potter, apparently.
No, you're fine. That's
like I've been a fan for 20 years. Like straight the hell up. I don't even care. You know what I mean? I'm not a Potterhead. I don't think I'm in any kind of house, but I like the books. I really like the books, and I love the movies. Man, I fucking love the movies. But I will agree that again, the complaint with Half-Blood Prince and tying into they use it as a setup film for the Deathly Hallows, right? It was they tried to change it. They didn't even do a fucking funeral, man. They didn't even give fucking Dumbledore a goddamn funeral. They just all like shot their wands up in the air, and that was meant to signify the same fucking thing. Never mind, like the funeral scene was a who's who of cameo, and then it even ended with like an awesome, like the ending of Half-Blood Prince even ended with them going like, we're leaving Hogwarts and going after the Horcruxes. And it was like a cool scene because they were skipping the funeral to sneak out unattended. Like, give me a proper adaptation.
No, you know what? When you put it that way, I think there are some that they could definitely improve upon and really flesh out so they got cut out from the book. So I guess I wouldn't mind a remake. No, it kind of convinced me.
Some random here says, I ain't never seen Matt this worked up over anything. Dude, I'm telling you guys, I love Harry Potter. All right. Like I love Harry Potter. So it's, that's why I'm so frustrated with the Fantastic Beasts series. Cause it's just not good.
Yeah, that's bad. It's really bad.
I think like Johnny Depp versus Jude Law would have been really cool to see. And I think Mads versus Jude Law will be okay. But I hope it gets better, but I honestly don't see them. I think they're going to wrap up the franchise after this movie, if you want my honest opinion. I don't think it's going to get 4 and 5. I think the ending of Crimes of Grindelwald, it sets up for a finale. You know, it sets up with like, not that the bad guys won, but the bad guys got away. Mm-hmm. And you can finish it after 3. There's no point of doing 5. Don't let J.K. Rowling stretch this shit the fuck out. End it.
Yeah, I mean, weren't there rumors that apparently Fantastic Beasts 3 is like a disaster and might just go straight to HBO Max as a streaming movie?
Didn't Viewer Anon mention that like a while back?
Yes,
I think he did. I think he did. Yeah,
somebody heard.
Yeah, I think he did say that one. Anyway, we'll get it. Yeah, there's a lot there. All right, there's a lot more super chats to get to, you guys. I am so fucking sorry. I got on that rant. That is my bad. Okay. Let me just take a quick look here. All right, Daniel Scott, dude, $10. Thank you so much. I love Neil Gaiman. The Graveyard Book is amazing. If you like Gaiman, you got to read Ocean at the End of the Lane. I hope Marvel does 1606. He's my favorite writer.
Dude, that'd be amazing. Honestly, Marvel 1606 could be like its own animated series. It really could on Disney+.
Well, they just opened an animated studio for Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be perfect for them to do.
So I think What If is going to open the door. In a lot of ways. I was talking with Underhaven Annie, and they believe that that the what's it called that What If is being set up to fail. And when I get the opportunity, I got mostly for like Disney doesn't support 2D animation as much as they should. But then again, the 2D animation now, like if you ever go back and watch the Paper Airplane short film that they did, I think it was in front of Wreck-It Ralph. Mm-hmm. Paper, I forget what it was called, Paper something. I just watched it again.
I think it was called just Paper.
Yeah, it might have just been Paper, but I just the Netflix has like the Disney short films on there, which is why Frozen Fever is not on Disney Plus, as I found out. I hate Frozen. I hate the Frozen movies, but their short films I actually really like. I can't explain it.
So weird.
It's so weird. I cannot stand the movies, but the short films, I'm like, bring on, dude, bring on more short films. I actually enjoy these. And then I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's me. Maybe I should go back and try watching the movies again. And then I try, and I just, no, I can't do it, but I can do the short films. But anyway, but we were watching that the other day. That was all done, that was all done in computers. That wasn't 2D. That was a program that was made in order to replicate 2D, and they can do a lot more of that now. And so, I mean, people like it, and it's I don't know if it's more expensive or less expensive.
They need to use more of it, though. They've been kind of neglecting that technology they use for that short film. That's like a great combination of 2D and 3D that they should be using more, but they're not.
No, well, this is Disney is Disney. As we talked about, did you hear about this Galactic Star Cruiser prices?
Yeah, I saw. I don't remember the exact prices, but they were so outlandish. I'm like, nope, never going here.
So I didn't. I talked about this last night, and I was talking about it today with some people. One YouTuber who I'm not going to say who it is until we can confirm plans. But a certain Star Wars YouTuber, and I were talking about it, and we've been talking about like compiling our cash and you know, going to this because we were talking about the price, and it's like I don't know what the damn price is going to be, but I'll tell you this though. As I was Brian Skywalker Brian, who was supposed to be here last night, but he didn't. He fell asleep because he was going to explain to me some of the stuff in the theme park stuff. He sent me this today. Let me show you this, and then we'll. Oops, no, stop that. Let me show you this because this is what they're working on now for Disney. Check this out. Look at that.
What the hell?
That is the lightsaber for. That is
the real lightsaber.
That's the real lightsaber, but that is what's going to be on display at Galactic Star Cruiser when that finally opens up. I'll make the full screen. When that finally opens up next year. Those are the lights. I mean,
there's a boner joke to be made here. So.
There's absolutely a boner joke to be made, 100%. But the reason why it's cool is because it's like you're going to be able to go and do lightsaber training with something like that.
Yeah, they're going to teach you how to play with your lightsaber. That's great.
I mean, I'm already an expert in playing with my own lightsaber, but that's neither here nor there. And that's another thing. There's like something like this is going to be, again, a once in a lifetime experience.
Oh, for sure. But just the price
is insane. Yeah. I know. I'm like, do I need to rob a bank? Do I need to like sell some shit?
It's only for 2 days, and you only get
not even 2 days. It's 2 nights. They're not even doing the 2-day thing. It's 2 nights, and like you get access to the park for like 4 hours.
Early,
you know, and you get a guaranteed ride on Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Smuggler's Run.
The Rise of the Resistance one is big because the queue lines I hear are really bad. You have to like log into the app like the moment you're able to like reserve for the day. So that is pretty good of them to do something like that. But
it's going to be it's going to be fascinating to see how the whole thing plays out. I am hoping I can figure out a way to actually go. I don't know how I would be able to afford that, but I definitely want to. Let me just kind of get through. McLeod here with $10 Canadian. Thank you, man. It says here, LeVar Burton deserves to be permanent host of Jeopardy. His work on Reading Rainbow alone, and Trek, of course, is enough to give him the job. He would have made Trebek proud. I agree. Mm-hmm. Everyone is behind LeVar Burton. Everyone is behind LeVar Burton. It's like, hey, do you guys like, because I think Sony is who owns Jeopardy. It's like, Sony, you like money? I mean, clearly not, because it's fucking Sony.
True.
And and like
this decision making eludes them.
Yeah, I know. That's why do you think they leave all the Spider stuff to the Spider-Man stuff to freaking Kevin Feige? Mm-hmm. Really, honestly, like look into it. But no, I mean like LeVar Burton is like the choice to choose. There's like
nobody else really.
There's nobody. Yeah, I don't even watch Jeopardy anymore. I'm like LeVar Burton. I'd probably tune in again. You know, like it's if you'd be like, I don't know. You'll never be able to replace Alec Trebek. That is true. Yeah. And he was a saint to many people. But LeVar Burton has also got a very large following. And yes, Reading Rainbow is a large part of that. I knew about Reading Rainbow before I knew about Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Same here.
You know, I remember watching that on PBS.
I watched it at school.
It's in a book, Reading Rainbow, right? I mean, like, it's been 30 years. I still remember that fucking song.
Reading Rainbow and Between the Lions.
It's just like, you give it to LeVar, man. Like, no, it's so stupid. Hollywood makes some dumb choices sometimes, you know. They do. I don't know. I'll champion for LeVar Burton. You know, like, if there's a letter writing campaign, they have my ink, my pen, and my stamp.
By the way, I think you might have missed Brennan Caterpillar's.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry, man. Thank you, RJ, for catching that. It says here, I saw an interview where Alan said Patty asked him to come back for Wonder Woman 84, and he'd already committed to writing on some Shonda Rhimes show. Well, we're all the worse for it. Mm-hmm. And I say that because we're literally all the worse for it.
Damn job.
Yeah. If you're like, you know, Shonda Rhimes. I'm not like Shonda Land has done a lot. I cannot fault Shonda Rhimes. I don't watch any of her stuff, but you know what? Her popularity and her power is definitely something that you cannot question in Hollywood. Like, but then again, she bailed on ABC and went over to Netflix for a huge deal. So, you know, there's all that, but I'm hoping Wonder Woman 3 is a pretty good movie. I do want to see it. We'll see here. Anyway, Command Unit here with another 30 shekels, man. Thank you so much. Says Audible currently has 54 40K books on Audible and many yet to be added. This world has been getting constant content for years, and I fell in love with the world because of the many great books it has. Wow, 54? I don't even think Star Wars has that many. No, they probably do.
Yeah, that's a lot of books.
That's a lot of books right there. That's a lot of, Warcraft. That's the thing I don't get is like, why is it that was something that's as popular as Warhammer? They haven't, I know they're doing this Warhammer Plus thing and they're making, original animated content for Warhammer Plus. I get that. What I don't quite understand is why they haven't done anything to really branch out and, like go into, an animated movie, or maybe they have, and I just don't know about it. Cause I've never played Warhammer. I think I played one of the games.
I've never played it, so I couldn't comment on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like you gigantic space marines, but I think, you know what it is? I think I look at Warhammer and I think like, I just keep comparing it to Blizzard because like the space marines in StarCraft kind of look similar to the space marines, the suits in,
I was gonna make a terrible joke where he says, you think about the space marines, you think, God, are they being abused at their workplace?
What?
Because of Blizzard. What's going on with Activision Blizzard?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Too soon, RJ.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Vito was here last night making 9/11 jokes, and that's still too soon. Gotta wait till September 12th. I'm kidding. Anyway, I'll have to find some ones that are easy to get into. I think lore videos on YouTube would get me involved, to be honest with you. Okay. And let's see. Benson here, 5 pounds. Thank you. Says, hi. So now Suicide Squad is out in the US. Can we talk about how the first 10 minutes is an FU to the Ayer fans, cleaning up the DCEU, wiping out the past? We will talk about that, Mark. We will. Let me get through 2 more things real quick, and then we'll dive over to the Suicide Squad stuff. I just wanted to go through the initial news stuff first. But we will talk about that. Thank you very much. Okay. Anthony, what am I doing, Collins? Not tonight, dude. Not tonight.
Yeah, we're almost an hour in, and we haven't got to Suicide Squad yet.
Yeah, because it's just been a good conversation. I always enjoy talking to everybody. Okay, let me see here. How about Patrick Stewart? I mean, like, he's like 90.
No, he's too old.
Kira, he says LeVar or Wayne Brady. I as much as I love Wayne Brady, I think Wayne Brady is best suited for, like, he's done another, I think he did another game show. I don't think he'd be suited for Jeopardy. So. Because I think everyone would just be waiting for him to say, like, is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Oh God.
Which is the have you ever seen that sketch? That skit?
I think I have, yeah.
Oh man, it's one of the funniest things ever. Command Unit here is another 15 minute. Thank you very much. StarCraft was a 40K game originally, and Warcraft was originally a Warhammer fantasy. Oh, no shit. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lore in Warcraft and in StarCraft. So,
yeah.
Cool.
By the way, I think Benson had another super chat earlier that you might skip over. Yeah.
Okay, let me go. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Benson says, has Campia accepted your invite to Star Wars Couch? No, we're not talking. No. Campia isn't going with me. That would be.
What, you wouldn't want to go on vacation with John Campia?
Well, not after he lost $1,500 going to Disneyland and never going to Disneyland ever again.
Yeah, he didn't get to go to, what was it? He didn't get to go to Avengers Campus or something?
I didn't
get to go on the ride that he wanted to because he went there unannounced and didn't plan in advance.
Is that what it was? I thought like he booked a hotel.
They have the queue system, so if you don't use the app to queue into the ride, you don't get in for the Rise of the Resistance and the new Spider-Man ride at Avengers Campus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically he didn't look anything up. He just went unannounced and got jiffed.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to plan that shit, dog. Like, that's like, dude, come on. Anyone who lives out of he doesn't live out of state, right? It's just, I'm telling you, there's an entitlement to Southern Californians when it comes to Disneyland. I'm not even like, here's the thing with John Campia. It's like, bitch, wait till after Labor Day, okay? Wait till after Labor Day, wear white, go to the park.
He's got the money, book a travel agent, make them do it all for you.
Yeah, you could, man. He definitely gets the cash on that one, He makes a lot of money. I think
it was like for his wedding anniversary or something.
Then he straight dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, you book a travel agent, dude.
Yeah, it's like, hey, honey, you want to go to Disneyland? We'll get in. We'll do all this stuff. Here's the thing. At the end of it, it's like you bribe somebody if that's the case. You go in line, you find someone who looks kind of, I don't know, I'm just going to say maybe a little downtrodden, maybe look like they're, go, hey, can we trade you guys spot in line? I'll give you $50. Take your family. I'll give you $100. Take your family. I guess
well, here's my thing. I'm a travel nerd, so I like watching like the Disney food blog. I like watching those kind of channels.
Me too.
I never plan to go on a trip anytime soon, but I watch them in case they ever do, and like, I know all this stuff ahead of time.
Yeah, I know. I like Disney food blog too. I like AJ. We were planning a Walt Disney World trip last year or earlier this year, so I was watching a lot of Walt Disney World coverage on YouTube, and I was all like, God damn, I really wish I lived in Orlando. Like I live nowhere near anything, but I'd love to live near a theme park and be able to make the trick. Anyway, we're getting away the fucking talking. All right, let me just get into, let's see here. Oh yeah, there's Underhaven. There's Underhaven.
Yeah, I would love to have that conversation.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it on another episode. All right. Go watch the movie. That's my take to you, Anna. Go watch the movie. And then, okay, so I really wanted to touch upon this one real quick because I found the whole thing to be kind of weird. Stephen King is saying here that he wants to write a book that directly deals with the coronavirus, saying, I want to set it in 2020 and see how that works as a book. It's going to be difficult. And I'm not the biggest fan.
Let me guess, people wanted to cancel him.
No. I don't know. I know I said here, I think it's in poor taste. But however, if this is how King wants to work through the pandemic, then he should, because everyone expresses themselves and their animosity and their fears and everything in a different way. And if his animosity and his fear over the course of the last year, because Stephen King ain't getting any younger, so he's in that, that kind of critical age, where he's got to be careful. He's going to be processing a lot of stuff during all this.
It is a good point, though. The Stand does exist. I mean, it's not like he hasn't done a story similar to what he's describing here before.
That's true, but I don't think he wants to approach it from heaven versus hell, good versus evil.
More sort of explore the complexities.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So
I mean, listen, King is a very talented author. I mean, just read 11/22/63, great book from a few years ago. He's a good writer. I mean, I think it has to be handled very carefully. Same with any movies about the coronavirus and the pandemic, because it could come across as very insensitive or in poor taste. But if you navigate those waters successfully, it could be something compelling.
Well, that's it. I mean, when it came to 11/22/63, he actually had him and a researcher. They really spent time digging into Lee Harvey Oswald's.
I remember we had that conversation on the Hulu show, and it's like he really spent his time researching and making sure that he made the most accurate book he could to the events. Yeah,
and I really enjoyed that whole miniseries, and the story was fantastic. In fact, I kind of want to watch it again, to be honest with you. I just felt so. It was one of those ones where when it was over, I felt like when he went to the school to find the woman as she was older, and see that she was still alive. I felt and then he met her for a second. I felt so bad for him in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was that. But there was a lot there with that was just pretty damn fantastic. And then, okay, so before we get into the last topic of the night here, Command Unit with another 30 shekels. Thank you, sir. Says, I always found it funny that Blizzard's two main IPs are basically off-brand Warhammer, and both happened because Games Workshop pulled support mid-development. Well, it's kind of like the creator of the PlayStation took it to Nintendo.
That's right. It was going to be the Nintendo 64. It was going to be the disc-based console that they were going to partner on. Then there was those creative differences. They split up and they were pissed at each other. It's like, screw Nintendo. We're gonna kill their competition, basically.
Yeah. So they put out the PS1, and I was always a Nintendo kid growing up, but
PS1 was pretty damn compelling at the time.
It absolutely was.
Especially with Final Fantasy 7 and Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah. No, I borrowed my friend's PSX. In order to play Metal Gear when it first came out.
I don't know how you guys are able to play games though without a thumbstick. You use the D-pad for those three games. I don't know. Well,
you know what? You know what? We survived, RJ. Okay, right? That's our equivalent. That's our equivalent of our grandparents saying, "I had to walk to school in 5 miles in the snow, and all I had was worn-out snowshoes."
You kids and your fancy cars and your electricity and your non-diphtheria.
Like, what are we going to say to our kids? You know, when it's like, what am I going to say to my kids in like 40 years? You know, when I'm 80 and they're 40, you
We
know,
couldn't have games directly beamed into our brains. We had to go drive to a store called GameStop and have to trade in five games we bought for $60 to get $2 back to put the game on.
When I was younger, I was hosting a show called Hollywood After Dark. I did one of the best movie podcasts out there. But you know what? I still had to work for it, goddammit. Yeah, you guys in your little weird roller Segway shoes and your bippity boppity. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. All right. Yeah, I agree with you though, Command Unit. It does appear that Blizzard might have been a little bit on the yeet eat side of things. You know what I mean?
I don't know what's gonna happen to Blizzard at this point. I'm very concerned.
They're probably gonna get rolled into Activision. I'll talk to my friend and see what he says.
Yeah, but Activision is in so much hot water. I don't know. Like this is like not company shattering. I don't want to put it that way, but it's such a public PR disaster they're going to be feeling for years. I think.
I'm just going to be honest with you. No one cares.
You don't think so?
No Blizzard player cares. No Overwatch person, no average person who's going to buy Overwatch 2 is going to give a shit. They're not going to care.
But what about the gaming media?
Completely,
the YouTubers.
The YouTubers would be a bigger problem than the gaming media. But then again, the YouTubers are going to talk about it, and they're going to attack the higher ups. They're going to attack Mike Morhaime for leaving. And then at the end of the day, give it a week. It's already been a week and no one's talking about it anymore.
By me is correct though. World of Warcraft is losing its subs. I did hear the numbers have been dropping a lot recently.
To be fair,
not just because of the recent controversy, also because of like what the Warcraft 3 remastered being a disaster. There's like a lot of stuff going wrong with that game.
Well, there's a lot that there is definitely a lot that they need to address. But I'm telling you, it's like a lot of people like maybe some of the hardcore like WoW people, like people who would go to BlizzCon, they would probably care. But it's like, again, there's always going to be that initial drop off, and then as long as they just go, we're sorry, like South Park.
Really, Bobby Kotick's gonna get naked on the.
If Bobby Kotick got naked on a bearskin rug and sat there looking like a pinup girl from the 1950s and just kicked his legs in the air and went sorry, I think I'd forgive him at that point, because that takes a lot, like, and I hate Bobby Kotick. I'd be like, all right, man, like, I get it, dude. I get it. Like, you don't need to put your dick in a blender, but like, you know what?
Yeah.
Cover your butt.
What do you think about what Min Min's saying, though, where a lot of the gaming sites and channels say they don't want to cover Blizzard anymore? Like your Jim Sterling's. Well, I don't know. Min Min probably knows.
Well, here's the thing with that. Sorry, hate to see you go. There are others. That's just the way it is. All right, there's going to be if these channels don't want to cover Blizzard, there will be other people that will cover Blizzard. There's never not going to be a shortage of people who will cover that. And Bite Me says they've lost a third. But here's the thing: Bite Me makes a good point. World of Warcraft has lost a third of their subs in the last 2-3 years. It has nothing to do with very little to do with this particular thing. When WoW got rid of their vanilla servers, or they stopped allowing people to host vanilla servers.
Legacy servers or something.
That got pretty bad. I remember that shit.
The Warcraft 3
and WoW's been kind of dying for a while anyway. So
everyone's playing Final Fantasy 14 because it's way better. It's a much better game. It's a much
I don't play MMORPG, so I don't know. I really have no idea.
Final Fantasy 14, no joke, is probably one of the best redemption stories and probably one of the greatest MMORPGs ever made. Like, it's, you know how like the No Man's Sky redemption story?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but like many years ago. It's incredible, the turnaround for that game. It's not like the most popular game in the world right now. And it came out years ago, but it's been on a hot streak.
I mean, I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Yeah, really look into Final Fantasy 14. It's a long, complicated story. It's very, it's really inspirational, really interesting to watch.
Yeah, Rational here says Activision Blizzard makes most of their money from Call of Duty. They don't care about WoW. Yeah.
Yeah, but I hear this new Call of Duty is like apparently in a lot of trouble. Like they had to like restart development twice. It's like they're scrounging around at the last second.
I don't
Battlefield
understand.
is going to be the dominant game this year, not Call of Duty.
I mean, Battlefield 5 was not good.
That is true, but 2042 looks way better, and it's got
2042 looks way better. But my God, that trailer they put out where they showed just basically they updated like some of the hyped clips from Reddit. You know, I thought I was so bored to tears by that. I was bored to tears because it felt it was so forced
and a lot of content though that people are excited about, like legacy maps and all this and that.
Look, I loved Battlefield 1. I really loved Battlefield 1. I loved Battlefield 3. Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5 didn't wow me. I know 4 got better over time. 5 never really did. I know they added
the Hardline. The cop game.
The cop. I rented it for the single player campaign, and I thought the single player campaign was fun enough. It was very very basic. I red boxed it. Played multiplayer a little bit. It was okay. It was okay. I mean, look, if you want, here's the thing. If DICE wants to win me over, if DICE wants me to come back, like if they want me to pop something that's basically the gamer equivalent of Viagra, give me Bad Company 3.
That's what everybody wants.
All right.
Man.
That's just, I know everybody wants it, but instead they're like, let's do Battlefield 2042. Like, come on.
It looks good though. It looks.
I'm not like, yeah, fine. It looks like it's going to be a technical powerhouse, as all of those games are, but it's like there's. You know, it's like, I mean, look, they effed up Battlefront 2. They fixed it. That's a good comeback story too. You know, they've done a lot for Battlefront. They can fix these games, but at the same time, they're pushed to these release schedules. I'm not going to buy Battlefield 6 off the bat. I'm just not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like at this point where I'm at right now,
wait for reviews.
I've been like, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. I bought that digital on day one. Haven't played it in months. I was, you know, I'm waiting for them.
That game. I pre-ordered the collector's edition with the statue for like, what was it, $300. Amazon canceled it because my account got locked, and they, you know, like verify your password and change it.
Yeah.
Change the password and says, oh, this pending order got canceled. Can I get it back? No. So I didn't get the collector's edition. I was pissed, and I bought the game full price digitally at launch. In hindsight, I'm glad Amazon did that because, oh boy, I got a refund pretty quick because it was unplayable. It was unplayable even on PlayStation 5. It was unplayable.
There's I at this point right now, I'm not interested in much for PlayStation 5. Deathloop sounds good, but I'm just going to wait a year.
Clank's really good.
I'm just going to wait a year on Deathloop because it's going to come to Xbox and it's going to be on Game Pass. So, because it's Bethesda, so it's Arcane. And in the meantime,
is correct though. That Portal thing, the creative mode, looks insane. They showed that off at their EA Play event. It looks amazing.
I haven't. Okay, sister, I got to watch the trailer for that one. I haven't watched the trailer. You know, okay, before we get, Jesus, this thing has taken like a way left turn. McLeod, okay, if you can find RJ, if you can find me that trailer, we'll play it before we get in. As we get into everything. But I want to talk about really quick. The big thing is this Deadpool 3 information. Ryan Reynolds says they are really actively developing Deadpool 3 and getting it into good shape. Also saying that there's a 70% chance of Deadpool 3 starting to film next year. It is going to be rated R, and it is going to be in the MCU.
Cannot wait, dude. It's finally going to happen. I'm just so looking forward to it.
Another thing that he said that I thought was interesting in the interview was he mentioned the Molyneux sisters. And I've brought up the Molyneux sisters before, right? I brought up the Molyneux sisters are executive producers on Bob's Burgers, and they also write a lot of the Bob's Burgers episodes.
Oh, so they're the writers for this new one?
They're the writers for this new one. And the thing is, like, again, I will pimp Boss Burger to the, or Bob's Burgers, Boss Burgers. It's like totally
Boss Burger, Boss Baby and Boss Burgers crossover.
Oh, this is now a Boss Baby Stan channel. That's how this works out.
Just put the Boss Baby in your banner, man.
I just gotta I gotta contact DreamWorks and be like, I've done more to pimp your movie than you have. And I've got people watching the show on Netflix even. Couple people. I think Jess and somebody else were saying that they were watching the show on Netflix because I recommended it. And I'm like, God damn right. Anyway, Bob's Burgers, I think is probably the single greatest animated show in the last 10 years. And I mean, sitcom comedy.
I haven't watched it myself yet, but I want
to. Dude, fuck. Okay, like I'll just give you the synopsis for the season 5 finale because it's my favorite episode. So they live in this small East Coast kind of tourist town where there's a wharf, right? And the wharf is called Wonder Wharf. It's like a Coney Island amusement park sort of thing. And it's owned by a guy named Calvin Fishoder, who is like a debonair, guy in a white suit with a white eye patch, voiced by Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline's Mr. Fishoder's younger brother Felix is voiced by Zach Galifianakis. They also Fishoder owns most of the town. And so he's Bob's landlord. He's everyone's landlord. And he's going to raise the rent. And so they all decide to go on a rent strike. And so Bob organizes a community, the business owners. They all go to Fishoder's mansion. And he's fully aware that a rent strike is going to be coming. So he offers an alternative. He says, why don't we play a game? And he brings out a whole bunch of water balloons. He says, the last person standing, we cut your rent in half. And everyone else. And so then the entire town, basically all the business owners, go off on this massive water balloon fight in order to try to get half off their rent. And while Bob is trying to organize everyone and trying to hold it all together until he gets pissed off, and then he starts playing the game Fishoder wanted him to play, and he goes full Rambo. Dude, I'm telling you, Bob's Burgers is, if you guys have seen, so good. Geek Studios here, right? Geek Studios here says Bob's Burgers is so good.
It's on Hulu, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, I'll watch it eventually for sure.
It's once you start watching, you will not be disappointed with it, and that's why, honest to God, the Molyneux sisters being involved with Deadpool 3, I'm telling you, it's like whatever they come up with, I'm there day one. I loved Deadpool 1. Number 2, I didn't think was as good.
I love both of them. I think I might like Deadpool 2 just a little bit more because I just love Cable and I love like how they had Juggernaut. I just like the story.
Yeah,
but they're both really good. Like,
I'll tell you though, what was missing from number 2. Number 2 is missing heart. There was a lot of heart and a lot of love in the first Deadpool.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
They kind of forced it in Deadpool 2.
Well, that makes a little sense though. Because Deadpool 1 was like the dream movie. They never thought they were gonna be able to make it, right? So it's like the miracle movie. Deadpool 2, it's like, okay, how do you make a sequel to this movie? That's the original director, right? So
yeah, well, and David Leitch is a good director, and he's a good action director, and I really like his work, but he wasn't able to.
He's not a comedy director though.
No,
too. I think you need someone in here who's a good comedy director who can do good action.
Yeah,
the comedy needs to take the precedent, not the action, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Real quick here, I just want to give a shout out to Joe Higashi's legit leg kick. Says, salute, buddy. Keep it up. Love your channel. Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate that compliment. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that. All right, let's take a look here at the Battlefield 2042 Portal trailer and a podcast about movies. No, it's entertainment, basically.
Yeah, and then we're gonna. I don't know if you want to keep the volume on because of copyright, but
I don't care. I get I get the money from the super chats.
Okay.
So I don't mind. I don't mind that occasionally. If I was pulling in like 30,000 views a video or something like that, or 10,000 views, like whatever, then I would probably care a lot more. But right now I don't care. Anyway, let's take a look at this one, and then we're going to talk about about Suicide Squad. So get ready for the spoiler discussion. Whoa, what?
Gotta step it up, boys. Go!
This means go now!
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's total chaos.
All right.
It's basically a level creator. You could literally make whatever you want. If you want to be World War II versus modern day, you can. If you want it to be like all knives versus like teleporting guns, do whatever you want. It's basically like Mario Maker on crack for Battlefield.
All right. Now that has my attention. That has my
Like
attention.
they showed off a mode where you can pick like World War II soldiers who only have like a pistol versus like high tech military, like modern day, where like the World War II guys, the match, you'll have to like use stealth and stuff, but you have like higher numbers of players. The modern day people, you only have like a squad of 6. It's really, really cool looking. Like you can like make whatever kind of match, whatever kind of map you want. Like you can use any map in the franchise history.
Damn. All right. Maybe. All right. Is that going to be on EA Play or EA All Access, whatever it is?
I have no. I think you have to buy it at launch, but apparently
right.
Portal's going to be there at launch. You can use it at launch.
Okay. Is there going to be a Battle Royale mode?
I don't know, actually. I'm not following the game close enough to know that for sure. I'd imagine probably.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Because the last one had a Battle Royale mode. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I never played it, so.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. All right. So why don't we dive into what I think a lot of people want to talk about. And that, of course, is the Suicide Squad. So that is now out. That is now officially come out. And a lot of people, there's a lot of mixed reactions over it that I've seen tonight, which is really weird.
Not too surprising, though.
You know what? Not too surprising from who I'm seeing them from. Right? Like people who, I kind of expected this kind of thing to come from. And I'll just say it. Snyder fans, right? And that's not a dig at anybody in particular.
No, of course not. I think it's from people who want a certain kind of DC movie. There's nothing wrong with that. You know?
No, I mean, like, look. Here's the thing. You look at like the Zack Snyder trilogy, and it's like it's complex and it's thoughtful, and it asks questions. You know what? This is about a group of fucking convicts going to a small remote Latin island in order to take out a giant fucking starfish.
God, Grace's review, dude.
Like, I mean,
like, where do you want to start with this? Because like we could go in any direction at this point.
Well, we can go anywhere. Yeah, I said spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert, just in case anyone isn't clear.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me just hold on here. Let me just totally. All right. Okay. There we go. I'm making a banner. All right. There we go. But I mean, like we did say spoilers. McLeod here, real quick, $5. Says, okay, talking about the Portal. It features famous maps, weapons, gadgets, vehicles, and characters, etc. from Bad Company. I did notice the Bad Company reference there with the grenade with the smiley face. And I think I did kind of mumble to myself, oh, fuck you. Anyway, cool. I mean, it could be something we're checking out.
For sure.
All right, Benson here. Come on, Mark. We're going to have to wait for the lounge to react as I need to catch a matinee showing.
Well, you don't have to wait. I can tell you. Enosh saw it tonight and said he liked it.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'll let him do his review whenever he does it, but he liked the movie.
Oh, okay, good. A lot of people, I think, watch it tonight. I think as soon as it dropped, people like were online. By 6:30 p.m. my time, my timeline was just full of spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, that's what do you want to go into the story about why I watched it tonight? Because I wasn't going to initially. I'm going to wait till Saturday and see it for the first time in a movie theater. I'm not yielding on that. I said that to you all day.
Yes, you did. And then I just kept bugging you about it privately. You know,
Yeah, you just kept sending me that one image or just said do it.
I'll bring it up real quick. This is basically what I sent RJ. I was going to send him, I was going to send you an actual like GIF. And then I just like brought this up on my phone and I just saw all the duets and I'm like, that just looks funnier. So I thought that was pretty good. We would just do that right there.
Yeah, I sent you the picture of the dude with like his vein popping out of his head.
Yeah.
Because that's me eternally trying not to cave in to watch it right now.
Oh yeah. I'm like, it's so easy. It's so easy. But the thing is, okay, so when Tim here. Come on, Tim. Snyder's DC movies aren't complex or thoughtful. The characters are one-dimensional. Dude, you are so...
I disagree with that.
Oh my God. I couldn't disagree with you more. Like, holy crap. But I mean, I respect your opinion.
It's all subjective.
It is subjective. Sure. Yeah. It is subjective. But yeah, I think, okay. So you watched it and I do think that seeing it in a theater is a different experience than seeing it on your TV. You know, I really do. And it's like, I saw it in the theater last week. Mm-hmm. And I've been sitting on it for a week. I haven't talked about it. Any spoilers, nothing.
Itching to talk about it.
Yes, I have been because there's a lot to this movie. Like when I'm seeing people's reactions tonight, and it's especially friends of ours, and I'm like listening to what they have to say about it. I'm like, did we see the same movie? Like I watched Grace Randolph's spoiler review today because you told me about it.
It gave me a headache.
And it was like, I'm like, did you even watch the movie? Like at any point in time, did you understand character motivations?
Here's the funny thing. After watching the movie myself, I'm watching her spoiler review and even just her normal non-spoiler review. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like it makes no sense. Like nothing that she said. Listen, she's allowed to have personal tastes. She doesn't like certain levels of violence or sexual humor, that kind of stuff. That's fine. It's not for everybody. But like complaining about some of the things she did, I just don't get. I really don't understand. Her spoiler review is really not laid out clearly. The Harley Quinn thing in particular is not that big a deal. And I say this as a diehard Harley Quinn fan. Dude, that scene where she shoots what was his name? Luca?
Yeah,
the president. Luna, yeah, the president, Luna. And she says, I've dated horrible men in my past, and I know that this is just what I have to ultimately do. Like, kill them before they do any harm. Because I know, like, I just have terrible taste in men. Like, that's a great character moment. I'm sorry. It really is.
No, it really is. Like it's not like her character there. That was part of her arc from the first Suicide Squad, from Birds of Prey. And I talked about this.
Yeah, natural progression.
It was a natural progression. And then but then also, what did I say in my Grace Randolph is wrong video? At that moment when she shot that guy, Grace is like, oh, she was just being played up to have sex with them or whatever. I'm like, if you listen to what was happening,
the sex was downplayed, if anything.
The sex was absolutely downplayed. There was no nudity. There was no prolonged sex. They broke a couple vases and smashed some windows, whatever.
Yeah,
but the president was like, look, he told her, I know who you are. I need you for this, because he needed her to win over the people, because he needed to have a regime change.
Well, if anything, it's meant to show growth on her part too, because she didn't let herself continue to be manipulated by him. She saw the red flag, like as she put it, and shot him because she knew this is what I got to do, because the red flags are going up, and I'm not waiting around for you to do something bad.
Well,
that's
really
character growth.
Yeah, it was really like the killing kids thing. And again, there was that flashback scene, or there was that the dream sequence in the first Suicide Squad where she thought, she was going to be a homemaker with Mr. J. They were going to have children. That she clearly cares about kids. That's already been previously established. She does have a soft spot for people who are kind of underprivileged, as we saw with Cassandra Cain in Birds of Prey.
And she was a kid too.
And then again, like the president saw her for who she is and accepted her for who she is and didn't want to change her. And that's what she was falling for, was the idea that people accepted her for her. And then in that moment, when she realized that it was all going to be like, this guy was that red flag moment.
Yeah, the only thing I agreed with Grace on her reviews, I do think the next logical step for the Harley Quinn character is for her to meet Poison Ivy. Like, I don't see where else you go with her at this point. She asked.
No, that was absolutely setting up a Poison Ivy Scissor Fest. Yeah, that was absolutely setting that up. I do agree, and that's fine. I think a lot of people at this point want to see.
It's about time.
it's about time to get that. The show obviously is popular enough. Apparently, both Margot Robbie and James Gunn want to work together again on another movie. Margot Robbie heavily wants to do for Poison Ivy. She produced Birds of Prey. I'm pretty sure she wants redemption arc, or at least a shot at redemption for that movie. Look, you can like it all you want. I don't think it was that good. I don't think it was
I've
well
warmed
written.
up to it a little bit, but it's not as great as I hoped it would have been.
No, and people I think overhyped it too. Never mind the fact that there was very little in there. I'm sorry, that egg sandwich scene is still pretty bad. But there was a lot of character moments, like, you know, look at like Rick Flag, right? The big one people are upset about is Peacemaker killing Rick Flag. And
Dude, that hit me in the feels.
That
dude.
hit me in the field. I knew that was going to happen because that got leaked out.
Oh,
that got leaked out.
That didn't get spoiled to me whatsoever. So I was shocked. I was shocked. Because I heard somebody say, "Oh, wait until he's gonna get stabbed." I thought, "Oh," and I heard he got stabbed, and it's like, "Oh, he gets stabbed with like that knife." That's what. By the way, can you tell how great that shot was though? Or Peacemaker's helmet, it's like sitting there, and the fight's like in the reflection of it. That was fucking great.
Yeah, that was some good cinematography in that shot. And I mean, because I'd heard about Rick Flag's death probably about like a month ago.
See, I didn't hear about it all, so it was generally shocking to me, especially when like you see the heart get pierced.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, like if I know you say through the end credits, right?
Oh hell yeah, I did.
Okay. So that was the thing. Like one of our friends, Mad Max, was he didn't like the movie at all, and he was complaining about Peacemaker. And then I'm like, you didn't see through the end credits, did you? No. Yeah, but really, it's like the thing is like Rick Flag was doing the right thing. He was being a soldier. He was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, it was going to take the information to the public.
Yeah, and get it out there about Starro and what's going on this island and everything else. Stuff that needs to be done. And again, okay, here, and I talked about this in my video about Grace. Is like you got to look at this movie as like an homage to like the A-Team type stuff from the 1980s.
Yeah,
this is very much like that.
I said in my quick review I did on my channel, it's like if James Gunn, one of James Gunn's trauma movies, went a little more mainstream on a higher budget. That's what this movie felt like a little bit too.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Matt here says, I hated that part. I wish they didn't kill him. Then Captain Boomerang's death took me by surprise. I knew Boomerang was going to die, as I was shocked by it, but like I knew it was going to probably happen.
I think it was going to happen in the opening of the movie though.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to stick around like Harley and Flag did.
Well, Michael here says, I completely knew Peacemaker was not dead because he's got his own show. Oh yeah, no, pretty much exactly.
Well, here's the thing though. For me personally, I wasn't for sure because the show could have been a prequel for all we knew. They really never said either way.
Yeah. Well, they never said. We also don't know much about the show in general, but now we know that it's going to be a sequel, and that's okay. But they're going to have an uphill battle with trying to redeem his character.
They don't need to. In my opinion, I find it more fascinating if you follow a series where you absolutely fucking hate the main character. That's
going to be a tough sell for some people, but I'm right there with you, to be honest with you. David B here says Peacemaker equal douche. Cena killed it. Oh, Cena was great.
Oh, he was.
Cena was great. That scene when he killed Rick Flag, you could tell he didn't want to do it.
No, because he loves America. Like Rick Flag is like the best kind of soldier he loves. He loves the all-American good guy like him. But he's like, yeah, I have to withhold the peace.
Yeah, I'll kill as many men, women, and children as I need to keep it. Like he said that early on, and you're thinking, no. He probably really would. But I also love it though when the way that Bloodsport lands right there and sees Peacemaker with the gun.
Yeah, he just keeps falling down.
Pancaking effect, yeah, and then like just pulls out the gun and they both fire. And it's like, how did your bullet? It's like, how did you smaller bullets?
Yeah, it's a callback to when they first met, and I love that. That was great. I was gonna say something else.
Here, Bite Me makes a great point. Yep, Peacemaker being Stallone, Judge Dredd, and Box Office Magic. I can kind of see that. Geeks here says I want more Peacemaker. We get 8 episodes in January, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna turn around on. Well, I don't think everyone, but a lot of people are probably gonna turn around and say, "Okay, I'm interested in the show now." You know.
Well, MX here says Matt disagreed with Grace. No, there were things about her review that I did agree with, and I said that in my video.
Yeah,
and I focused specifically on a couple instances is what I was talking about.
Yeah, remember when she made a big deal about John Cena in the underwear? like, oh my god, it's like it really wasn't that big a deal. It was,
It was
funny.
like
It was funny.
it was so funny. It was so funny. He shows up in there, just the pure tidy whities, and like everyone is trying to not look at his junk, and he's just sitting there like, oh, whatever, guys. Like, it's all good. I'm fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
he was great. He was having so much fun. Yeah, like he was just having Drake here says Cena was just having the time of his life.
Oh, absolutely. And can we talk about Ratcatcher too for a second?
Oh,
That's a
she was great.
great character. The part at the end where when she's calling all the rats and the rats are crawling over Bloodsport and she's holding on to him because he knows he doesn't like rats because of his past, and she's crying because she remembered what her father told her. It's like, why do you like rats so much? It's because if they can serve a purpose, then it means all of us can too. Like,
Yeah,
that's a great line.
Oh no, there was a lot of good little moments like that. Like, and you could
it's about heart. The movie has heart.
Yeah, the movie has a lot of heart in it, and that's the thing I don't. I saw this. Some of the people we know were talking about how the movie didn't have any heart, and that the camaraderie was there in the first movie a lot better. But I'm like, it was written differently.
No, it wasn't. Not to me, at least. Because, like, personally, I didn't like the original Suicide Squad. I kind of hated it. That's why I want to see the Ayer cut, because I want to see if there's a better edit of this movie that makes it better. But I did not like the original film at all. I thought it was terrible.
I did. I liked it. I like it even with the pop music put in. I feel like you know what? I'm totally fine with that. I had the soundtrack for it. I listened to it a bunch. It's a great soundtrack. I like the Suicide Squad. I saw it multiple times in theaters. I bought the Blu-ray when it came out. I like that movie. I want to see the Ayer cut because I want to see what was changed for one. And I want to see his whole vision, as I want to see every director's full vision, because I like movies, but I also enjoyed what we got, and I'm okay with that. This movie was better than that one, in my opinion. It had a better story. It had a complete story.
Yeah, it was like, what, 2 hours, 10 minutes or something like that?
It was actually slightly shorter than the first one. And
it felt like a longer movie.
It felt way longer, yeah. I said that when I came out of it too. I'm like, I don't know if you saw my reaction. But like, I was like, it felt longer than the time. What I enjoyed about the movie though, again, was like the fact that they, in the opening of the film, when they go out and they're on the beach and Blackguard runs out, of course, Pete Davidson is just being Pete Davidson. And he's like, hey guys. And then they just shoot him in the face and his face is gone.
When you see my jaw hit the floor, because I'm like, oh shit, it's going to be that kind of movie. Because his whole face is gone. And you're like, shit's just hit the fan.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was and
you see Mongal get like blown up, and she's on fire, screaming for life, and then Savant's is looking around like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Oh, I know, and that was the thing too. People were like, again, I was watching Mad Max's stream earlier, and like him and Max were talking about Savant or Ryan Zieverfett, and it's like, oh, like he's just stood there like a bitch. Like, what are you gonna do? It's like, dude, these are not soldiers. He was
dead either way. Yeah,
these are not soldiers. That's the thing you need to realize is these are not soldiers.
He's a criminal.
These are criminals. They do criminal things. They're brought in because they have lower morals. Like they're, you know what? And that doesn't mean that they're going to end up being able to go into battle and do whatever. It's not
when
like
Weasel jumped out and he just started drowning. It's like, nobody fucking checked that he could swim.
Yeah. That was great because Savant's trying to save him, and then like
Weasel's dead.
Weasel's dead in the first few minutes of the movie, and you're like, what the hell? It's just so fucking random. I love it. I love that Weasel died in the first couple of minutes. Obviously, like it's good that he's still alive, but I'll tell you this though, I felt bad for all the children on that island because like he ate the 27 kids. So now there's going to be like a chupacabra running around. In this island, once they just dealt with this
I know some people didn't get the post-credits. Like, what's the point? It's like, it's just meant to be a funny little gag at the end of the movie. Kind of like, the original Guardians where they have Dancing Groot. Just something fun.
It's just something fun. You know what? Maybe to sell some merch. Maybe one of those things. Benson, it says here, opening 10 minutes lets the Ayer fans know their universe is over, just in case they didn't get the message. Flag gets killed later for confirmation. Here's the thing. I don't know if
I agree with that.
I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. It's not that the Ayer universe is over. It's the Ayer universe is tied to the Snyder universe. All of the current films outside of whatever the Joker sequel is, the Batman and something else are all in the DCEU. That was confirmed yesterday.
This movie felt like a natural extension of the first Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it did. It felt very much like that.
It didn't feel like it was like a reboot.
Yeah, and you also didn't really need to see the first one either. You know
No,
what?
you really
Like,
didn't.
because I know people were like, they like to connect the camaraderie between the team at the end of Suicide Squad. Obviously, the charisma of Will Smith was missing from this. And John Cena, as charismatic as he was all the way through, is not the Will Smith type of charisma.
I thought
You
Idris
know,
Elba did a great job though.
Idris Elba was great
I
all the
thought,
way through. Yeah, perfect.
like personally speaking, the end of the movie where he finally becomes the leader and starts ordering them around. Like I know some people might have thought that was cliche, or like they decide, no, we're not going to listen to Waller. We're going to go fight Starro and save this town because it's like this is fucked up. It's not right. Just leave this year. That was a great scene. I love that when the music kicks up and they're just like, the shot of them walking together. I like that. I thought it was really cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know people out there are saying like, "Oh, it reminds me of Guardians," but also it's a team up movie. It's an
Every
ensemble
team
film.
up movie. Yeah.
They all have that. And again, like I said before, if you go into Suicide Squad looking for reasons to compare it to Guardians, you're going to find reasons to compare it to Guardians. And if you watch Guardians, you're going to find a bunch of other movies from the 80s that you're going to be able to probably compare that one to as well. I'm just going to let you guys in on a real hot tip here. Hollywood is not that original.
Yeah, true. But like I said, to me, it felt like I felt myself getting excited. It's like, okay, they're getting together. It's like, it felt, I don't know. I like that moment because it felt like them saying, fuck Waller at this point. Who cares?
Oh, dude, when Waller got cracked upside the head and everything, that was the thing in Grace's.
Grace
I didn't talk.
hated that.
I didn't talk about I forgot about that scene when I was doing my commentary. But when she starts saying that like Waller's body being left there was misogynistic, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, she said it was misogynistic and the character's been embarrassed and she might not recover.
It's like, that's the whole thing though, is like, you know, I know people are saying Waller would have those people killed. She would have them all blown up.
Who says they will die in the Peacemaker show?
They might die in the Peacemaker show, but at the same time, Waller was served her just desserts. And that was her pride. That was more wounded than anything else, which at the end of the movie, when they say we're on Waller's shit list, that's why they're
she's
on.
She's going to remember this every single mission from then on out.
Yeah, yeah. I think what it boils down to, it's kind of like, this is an odd example for this, but this is true. My former boss at the drive-in spent 23 years in the Navy. The guy was a loudmouth, surly motherfucker who loved to yell. Loved to yell. People who weren't in the military don't get it. I wasn't in the military. I don't get it either, but he loved to yell and he would scream obscenities at you. It's kind of an abusive thing for a while. But one time he caught me at a moment when I was already pissed off about something else. And I turned back and he starts like yelling at me for being late. I got pulled over and got a bullshit ticket. That's why I was a few minutes behind. And I was picking up another employee who didn't have a car and I was being generous, but whatever. And he starts screaming at me and I lean out of the box office and I'm like, hey, asshole. And I just fucking tore into him. And I thought like it just kind of involuntarily came out of me. And I totally thought I was going to be fired. And he went like, well, all right then. And he sat down and he lit up a cigarette. Never yelled at me ever again. No, I'm not kidding. Never yelled at me ever again. There was one time he wanted to yell at me over something and he turned to the dude next to me and he yelled at that guy. He did not yell at me again. And we're still friends to this day, actually. We became pretty good friends. You know, I'm just saying, it's like there are times when if you stand up to your boss, you stand up to your superior, they might respect you for it. And I know Waller is a crazy ass bitch, but at the same time, it's like, you know, at the end there, she's like, she got served her shit because she was losing control.
Yeah, and as we speak, just to mention, the Suicide Squad is trending number 2 in the United States, as is John Cena. So I think people are very much talking about this movie and engaging with it, whether you like it or you hate it. You know, Harley Quinn is trending as well, so I think this speaks well. You know, a lot of conversations are being had about this movie tonight. I wouldn't be shocked if it trends like at least tomorrow. I don't think it's gonna trend all weekend, but.
Oh, that was Gunn's girlfriend was the blonde girl, and that was the blonde tech.
Oh, was it? I didn't.
That was
notice.
okay. There we go. Pogo here says best DC film in my opinion. I want to go. I still think the Snyder Cut's better, but
it's at least it's in top 3 for me though.
It is. Well, this is probably the most accessible one. To be honest with you, it's the most violent, and it's full on R-rated, and it needed to be. But like the thing is, it's full of really memorable characters. Say what you will about James Gunn or whatever. The fact that this movie is like, you got King Shark, who is just awesome.
I fucking loved King Shark so much. This movie, dude. When he like, well, not just the part that rips the guy apart, but when he bites the guy's head off, and I got kind of emotional because he falls off that building. And I thought, oh my god, did he die? And they start
he just hits the ground
with bullets. Yeah,
Yeah, they start shooting him. I'm like, oh man. But then again, Bloodsport shot him multiple times, and he didn't have any wounds on him. But whatever those creatures were, they were able to wound him. They never
explained what those were.
I know, that was really weird. I don't know what they were doing. Why?
I hope somebody asked Gunn what they were.
Yeah, because they were in Project Jotunheim, so they were probably something that was connected to Starro, maybe a barnacle or something along those lines. I don't know. But I'll tell you the weirdest thing. This is another thing too that Grace didn't touch upon in her spoiler review when she was complaining about all the crazy gore and whatever. She claimed about one penis. One penis scared her. One penis.
I barely even noticed it.
It was the guy gets hit, the dick flops back. That's about it.
Yeah, I didn't
Huge dong though. Huge dong. And then like what you see one pair of boobies when they get to the nightclub. They get to the gentleman's club, right? And
Yeah,
that was.
they're
Did you notice
noticeable.
Mantis?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
whatever. Like had like one shot she was in.
Yeah, she's basically just a background cameo.
Yeah, it was really.
Did you see Lloyd Kaufman?
Oh, I saw Lloyd Kaufman in the preview. He was in the trailer.
Oh, he was, and you notice.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the first trailer again, you'll see Lloyd Kaufman in the bar scene in the background. I was like, oh, that's where Lloyd's been. Okay, cool.
And Michael Castillo, I think, doesn't Captain Boomerang have like a kid in the comics too? I mean, they could also do like I don't know, Boomerang in like a prequel movie or something.
I know people complaining about this. We'll never see Captain Boomerang face the Flash ever again. We never saw him face the Flash anyway.
Well, you got that one scene in the original movie.
You got the one scene. That's it. They didn't do anything. It was just like, oh, no honor among thieves, and that was it. It's a cool scene. It's a cool little Flash. I liked it.
It's something.
But but still, it's not like, it's not much.
Yeah.
Not really what I'd call like a grand cameo or something.
Yeah, but I was going to mention real quick, Starro and the Thinker. Holy shit, did that get dark?
Oh yeah, he
Dude,
fucked one of those people.
Well, not only that, but the lab. When you see the experiments that they've done to these people, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, that and he's been there for 30 years. He's been working
and
on
they
this
talk
thing
about
for
how
30
it's
years.
like, and I loved nobody. I feel like I don't know if Grace talked about this in her review experiments that I watched it, but they talked about like the political aspect of it. It's like, no, the United States is sending you here because they want control of this because this was their project. They just dumped it over here, so it wasn't on U.S. soil. Like that's some real heavy political shit.
Yeah, and we've done shit.
But apparently
like that
that's
before.
Anti-conservative. Apparently,
I don't know.
I'm guessing that was because remember she said in the comments on her review where she said people are saying, "Oh, I'm glad this movie isn't woke. You're gonna be disappointed because the movie's anti-conservative." I'm like, how's it anti-conservative?
Yeah, this is where I'm at. If you are gonna the things that she says in these reviews with absolutely zero follow-up and zero examples given of why she feels the way that she feels, it just like it. I know her credibility in certain ways have always been kind of shit. It just like it literally hurt to like listen to this because I'm like
people take it at face value because they listen to her and form their opinion before.
I know it's crazy shit right there, man. It's absolutely crazy shit. I will say though, there was okay, so I know people are upset about Captain Boomerang. I love Jai Courtney. I would have loved to have more of him, but I understand it. I mean, Nathan Fillion's the detachable kid. That part was fucking hysterical. I know
some people hated that. I'm like, why? It's funny.
It's funny. It's just, it was because this is the whole point. These were the B squad.
Yeah, these are the guys that sucked.
These are the guys. These people were. That's the whole point. That entire team. They were the distraction. They were the expendables. That's what they were. The B team.
They were basically there just to die.
Yeah, the A team, they were the ones that went in around the corner in order to get around everybody to slip in undetected in order to take out Project Starfish. Yeah, like that was actually pretty cool. That was some good tactical thinking.
Small detail I loved about the movie too was like the transitions where it has like 3 days earlier on the toilet ring or like the smoke saying like chapter times for each part of the movie. I really like that. It's just like a aesthetic choice that Gunn made for the movie. I know I kind of like when movies do something like that. It was like Operation Save Harley, Operation or Jotunheim, and then you have the way the Warner Brothers presents things like it's sprayed out with Savant's blood. I just love like the attention to detail. Like that's when like the movie's in for like some real shit.
I thought it was really funny. I thought that it was really interesting that they did that. and that they killed a bird. They killed a lot of birds in that movie.
Yeah, Grace was complaining about that too, the animal cruelty, which I'm like, okay, maybe there's just a weird bird thing with this movie, like where they kill a lot of birds.
The bird got its revenge on Savant.
Yeah,
and I understand why Savant killed the bird. Like, I get that. He's a criminal. He's going to do a bad thing. And then another bird was eating his face. So there you go. Or eating his neck. And then
the bird's burning, though, that was kind of far.
I have a feeling there was like a reason for that. But
I want to know why birds were all in this movie, though. Think about it. Like King Shark, the bird joke, the bird at the beginning. Burning the birds. Is it like some kind of metaphor for Gunn or something?
Maybe he's giving the bird?
Giving the bird to Disney.
I don't know. I have no idea. Hold on. I love Michael Castillo here. You're telling me that the rats were able to take down Starro when it was difficult for the Justice League to do so?
That's the comics, though, not the movies.
Yeah. Like, you're going to have to figure out...
Justice League, Superman could punch him in like 1 second through the eye and he'd be dead.
Birds of prey died, so we must kill lots of birds.
Yeah, I know some people like the rats. The rats climbing Starro is unrealistic. I'm like, fuck you! It's a comic book movie.
For one, rats can shrink their body down to like get into places like in cracks.
Well, not only that, they're like climbing over each other, like World War Z zombies. There's so many.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like rats are also they're gnawing on everything. Rats can burrow through cement. They can burrow through cement. They can burrow through a lot of things. So having that many rats, and believe me, you're not seeing rats. They're everywhere. All right, like they're everywhere, especially in cities. They literally breed like crazy. So the concept of Ratcatcher 2 being able to do that, and then of course Harley diving into the eye and piercing her way through there, and then the rats coming in. Rats can also swim.
Yeah, they're swimming in his eyeball juice.
Yeah, like they can do all that kind of shit. Like that's the whole point.
Sebastian is the MVP, by the way. I love Sebastian.
Yes, I said that too. I'm like, Sebastian is the new Groot. Like, just at the end of the movie when they're on the VTOL getting out of there, and Sebastian comes over to like lay down on Bloodsport's leg, and he's all like,
Drake, Polka Dot Man, and his mom. Holy shit. I didn't know what to think of that. I kind of laughed, but it was so weird. Like
here's the thing. It makes a lot of sense. Because for one, let's just say it. Like Polka Dot Man was the MVP of the movie, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I his death though was very tragic and it was out of nowhere, but it's like he gets that big moment where he takes down one of his arms and he says, "I'm a superhero," that he gets killed immediately. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. But that's from the horribly twisted mind of James Gunn. And that was, I think, the joke I made even in my video. I'm all like, look, they're playing up, like the fact is James Gunn's horribly twisted mind got him in trouble 3 years ago. And now this is the centerpiece of Warner Brothers marketing for this movie. How crazy is that? Right? Like literally, how crazy is that?
Milton.
That, God, Milton.
Why the fuck was Milton with us?
Who was Milton?
What the fuck
that guy. I kind of felt bad for Milton, but like when we see him, like he's got the explosives in the little plastic baggie, and he's running up in a pair of cargo shorts and flip flops. I'm like, even my buddy looked at me. He's like, "What the fuck is that guy doing there?" I'm like, "He's so gonna die. He's so gonna die." And then like the guards just like ice him out. But then look, the thing is, what you have to love about that scene is that this was a random freedom fighter type guy. He didn't have to stay with them he just did. He believed in the cause enough.
I love how nobody pointed out though when he was walking with them in the group shot in the rain. He was just there.
Yeah,
that was funny to me. Like, why the fuck is he here?
It's like just some random guy. And then everyone went over to the Capitol in order to take out all the generals and everything else. But then they left Milton behind. Like, all right, Milton, you're in the van, right? You got the van. Okay, cool. I thought that was pretty great. I thought it was awesome. I loved like Operation Harley. Like that whole scene was fantastic because she just killed everybody. Yeah, and then she's like, "You were gonna come back for me?"
Yeah, she killed the dude to get the keys with her thighs. I'm sure some guys love that.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, that was the thing. You weren't alive yet, but back in '96, the very first Pierce Brosnan and James Bond movie, Famke Janssen played Xania Onatopp, and that was her kind of secret power is she had like these really strong thighs of steel, and she would like, crush men to death while having sex with them. Surprisingly hot for 96. I'm not even making that up, dude. I'm not even making that up. Like the first time we see her, she's boning a dude and she crushes him to death with her thighs. It was 95. No, it wasn't 95. Okay.
Probably started a lot of fetishes.
Probably. Who is Milton? So damn good. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, what was Grace's complaints? The shootout scene with Peacemaker and Bloodsport, where they're like competing to like kill the innocent.
Oh yeah. People of color being largely disenfranchised, and it's like, again.
Yeah, no agency. They're just dying and they don't fight back or whatever.
It's like because they were asleep. They were asleep. The whole point.
I feel like a lot of the complaints about this movie were just like very extreme nitpicks just for nitpicking sake.
They were nitpicking for nitpicking's sake. Yeah. Like that scene with them going into the village, like I felt something was off about that as they were going in. I'm like, this feels a little bit different. And then they're just like competing with each other to who can get the most or the most violent kills. And then the thing is that though, again, being upset with them. And I said this on Max's stream earlier, they are assassins.
They're horrible people.
They're
That's the
bad
whole point
guys.
of the Suicide Squad. They're bad guys. They're villains.
Yeah, they're gonna do bad things. You're not meant to sympathize with them entirely. Like
they're
and
lovable jerks.
Yeah, and then that's the whole idea though, is that like they will do something that will make you hate them, and then also they're meant
and
the
then
characters.
Guess what happened? End of the movie, you end up hating Peacemaker. So it's like,
yeah, I don't know like if what's gonna happen. I mean, James Gunn I think wrote all 8 episodes. He directed 5 out of the 8 episodes.
For sure.
He's got a plan, and obviously, according to Hamada, they've got a lot more coming down the pipeline. They got other things that are going to be happening. Look, here's the thing: James Gunn is probably the future of the DCEU, at least to some extent.
I think when you said that about like hundreds of thousands of DC fans just struck out in agony.
Oh, I'm sorry. When Black Adam doesn't live up to expectations next year, and The Rock bounces over to fucking Marvel.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I know you have your thoughts on that.
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts on that one. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like,
I really do.
Why?
1, Rock's star power.
Is
2,
it? Have you ever looked at?
2, it's a big character when you think about it.
Is it?
There's a lot of new superheroes being added to the frame. Potential of a Superman crossover. People love the original Shazam crossover with that. People are interested.
The original Shazam only made 145 million worldwide.
145?
Yeah.
No, maybe more than that. That was like 400 million.
No, I think it was under 400. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
That was like 400 million.
Maybe we did 145 stateside.
I think that's what you're thinking of.
Box. All right, maybe I'm wrong here. 366. My bad.
Okay, that's respectable. A lot of people discovered that movie though over time though.
Probably, and I think Shazam 2 is going to be fun. I can't wait for Shazam 2. I love Shazam.
I'm just saying, I never bet against The Rock. I'm just saying. I mean,
you absolutely can bet against The Rock. You 100% can.
Than misses, I would say.
But the thing is, though, a hit on the opening weekend doesn't define a hit overall.
But if it's a good enough movie and it has excellent action sequences and it honors the characters and setups of the larger DC universe, like it's seemingly going to, with all the different cameos and heroes being in this, I think it'll be okay.
Well, that all depends on whether or not they actually are able to secure those cameos. And whether or not those cameos...
we know Dr. Fate's coming, Atom Smasher, the Justice Society is kind of, Hawkman. Those are...
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Justice League is clearly not going to happen anymore. So they're going to move over to Justice Society. But even then, Justice Society on Stargirl is where we see that right now. And, people like Stargirl. I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, apparently it's a pretty good show.
And so, I mean, they might. But again, I'm telling you, it's like, it all depends. It all depends. It's like they're up against next year. They're up against Batman, Aquaman 2, The Flash, Black Adam. I mean, like on the list of all of those movies, for me, Black Adam's at the bottom.
For me right now, it's well, I don't know. I'm excited for all of them. I think I couldn't tell you what would be at my bottom because I'm looking forward to all of them. But I need to see more from Aquaman 2 and The Flash before I get like super duper excited. I want to see trailers for all these movies. Like the Batman's at the top, obviously. Everything else is interchangeable depending on marketing.
Yeah, Drake here makes a great point. You know what would have been really ballsy to do with this movie? Do a Clue and have multiple cuts where different people get to the end.
That would have been amazing, actually.
That would have been cool. I would have gone back.
Very expensive, though, probably.
Oh, yeah. Well, Michael here says they literally killed all of the rebellion just to encounter Flag getting along with the leader of the rebellion. Yeah,
That's the joke.
that's the joke.
That's the point.
It's like, okay. Well, shit. And then like it's just I thought the reaction of the leader was like, fuck.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do?
Well, that is a good question, though. I mean, because you obviously think that Gunn is going to be like an architect of DC going forward. I mean, what do you see him doing next? Because personally, I think he's either going to do a sequel to this movie, or he's going to do either Gotham City Sirens and Margot Robbie, introducing Poison Ivy and Catwoman into the DCEU, or I think more likely he's going to do Secret Six.
What? I don't know what Secret Six is.
Secret Six is a team from early 2000s, early 2010s comics run by Gail Simone. It has Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Bane, and like a few other more obscure characters like Catman and like what was it, the Jester or something, the ventriloquist. I don't remember what it was. It's some really weird character. Like it's like 3 characters people know, 3 characters that are like complete mystery. Like I think he wants to work with the weirder characters. I think Secret Six is more of a match with them. So that's just my speculation, though. I just don't think he wants to tackle those bigger characters, like a Superman or a Wonder Woman.
I mean, I don't think he wants to tackle the bigger people. I think that's why he likes the Guardians, because they were smaller unknowns. And
well, you
and
can
then
play around with them more. He likes the outsider.
Yeah,
characters.
you can do a lot more with them on that front rather than not. And I think that should be a lot of fun. The see whatever he does next, I want to see. Even if it's something original. Like I liked Belko Experiment quite a bit. That was a script written by him. It was a $5 million movie that his I think cousins. No, that was Brightburn. Yeah. But
I'm just hoping that he's doing something with Harley Quinn, because I think him and Margot, I think they're going to work really well together. I really do. So it's Gotham City Sirens. I welcome that 100%.
Oh, I'm excited to whatever happens. I'm all down for it. But as we get close to the 2-hour marks, I want to cut it off at 2 hours so I can actually get to bed on time. Although everyone's telling me to go watch Bad Batch, I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
I know, same here.
Yeah,
I thought we were getting 3 episodes left, not 2. But I guess we're only getting a 2-part finale, and then we're getting.
And this is the first part of the 2-part finale, isn't it?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Next week is the season finale, and I know TW McKay and I are gonna do a post-mortem on season 1, so I think we're gonna do that like in 2 weeks, a week after the season finale.
Yeah, let it sit and fester for a little bit.
Yeah, let it sit. We'll probably do that as a standalone stream talking about it. I know he's really excited because he wants to go back and rewatch everything. I've let the last couple episodes I
binged the last 3 episodes.
I'm like letting him kind of sit for a little bit just because I want to like go through it. And I've been really busy, so it's kind of like I got a schedule. What I've been thinking about is like for doing this particular show, because I love doing it, but every night is a lot. I've been doing it a lot, and I'm thinking about maybe doing like, maybe Sunday through Thursday or Monday through Friday or something, and giving myself, because I don't know. I mean, like, do you guys like every night, or do you guys would be okay with a Monday to Friday thing? Because it's not that it's like, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's best for me. With like the upcoming surgery, and
you need sleep and rest. Like,
I there are nights where like I think the other night I was like when we were doing the Warcraft thing, I was tired, and I don't know much about not Warcraft, Warhammer. I don't know much about it. I was trying to get to the bottom of it for Command, because he'd been very generous and I wanted to cover it. He asked about it. And I'm inquisitive by nature. I like to know things, but I felt so bad because I was so burnt out by the end of that thing. I just wanted to go to bed. So I'm thinking probably like, Monday to Friday, maybe something small on the weekends. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. It's just, I don't know. Life might change next week. I might have to go out and get an actual 9 to 5. Who knows? We'll have to wait.
I got to figure out my schedule too, because college semesters are coming up end of the month. So I got to work out how I'm going to like balance like going back to school. Well, at this rate, who knows if I'm going to be attending in-person classes anymore, because God knows what the hell's going on. But I got to work out my schedule stuff too. So I totally understand.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, the thing is, it's like I love doing this thing, man. I look forward to it. I'm looking up stuff. Like you guys can tell when I get really into it when I start pulling out the PowerPoint. And so if you start seeing like I have the images up on the screen, like that's if I'm building a PowerPoint, I'm really into it. The problem is building a PowerPoint takes a long time. So real quick here, Benson with another £5. Thank you, man. Says, but Matt, how can Gunn make more DC movies when we know from reliable sources, Zod writer, that he's number 2 in Marvel?
Benson loves poking the bear, man.
Oh man. Oh hell yeah. That's great. That's funny. It's all good. I like Zod writer. Him and I have very much disagreed publicly and privately.
No, of course.
over this issue.
Yeah, I love Zod. I don't agree with him all the time, but he's a good dude.
No, I Zod is a good guy in my opinion. I like Zod quite a bit. Just like I would not mind like getting him on stream and openly debating this because I think it was pretty funny. I think look, right now Guardians 3 is in pre-production, which means that they are going to start filming here, I think in October. You know, and from there, that movie is going to come out in 2023, I think, is Guardians.
Yeah, I believe so. 2023, yeah.
So he'll shoot that all next year. And then after that, he's probably going to end up going back to DC. What I would love to see, I'll be honest with you, is I would love to see something smaller. This was a big, massive movie that he was given the green light to do from Warner's. I think James Gunn works well in a smaller setting also. And I think if he can play with the characters and do the characterizations that he likes, while having imagine something like the Joker, but like through, like a smaller mid-level budget, $60 to $100 million. So weird that that's now considered a mid-level budget. But
yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Something on that front where he would then be able to do that. I don't know. I think that would be something fascinating to see. I did miss one super chat that I don't want to forget. Damn it. I know that it was from, I'm so sorry on that one, Command Unit. It went away. I thought I had it up here. Let me go and find it. He was bringing up something about Warhammer again.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Let me see. Actually, I might be able to find it up on the...
Oh, Bradley is correct, though. He is doing the Guardians Holiday Special, too, at the same time he films Guardians 3, so it will be a pretty extended shoot.
Yeah, okay. So Command Unit here did say you definitely need to react to The Death Corpse of Krieg by Sodaz. It's only 5 minutes long. All right, I will. Let me just Google that real quick. Is it okay? Let's see. I guess we can. We could watch that real quick. It's only 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's one other super chat, I think.
Yeah, I did see that one there. Okay, Mad1306 says, which one will come first? Justice League Dark or Justice League Reboot? Make it to live action in the years to come, HBO Max series or movie or film. Look, we all know that J.J. Abrams is working on Justice League Dark, and they're going to establish that. I would say after this whole Snyder Cut situation, Justice League in and of itself is going to be probably put on ice for about the next 10 years.
10 years? Hell no.
Yeah, I'd argue.
I think 4 to 5, maybe.
No,
max.
Way too close. Too close.
6 to 7.
I think 5 to 10. I'll give it 5 to 10. And I say 5 to 10 because the thing is they need to get away from Zack Snyder. All right. They do. They need to get away from Zack Snyder and have it be absolutely abundantly clear.
They probably also want to build up to it too.
Well, yeah, they got, and that's the thing too.
Make it feel like a big event.
Yeah, if the new regime is, Aquaman 2, Shazam 2, Wonder Woman 3, Black Adam, The Flash, Suicide Squad, if it's all within that realm of the DCEU, they have an established brand. They can play with it a bit. They can build up to something else, and then down the road a little ways, reboot, find a way to either use the multiverse to bring in Batman, do a Crisis. They might do a Crisis, which would then allow them to create a singular timeline with now merged multiverses that would then bring over these characters. And that's exactly what I said on Enosh's stream the other night when I said in the comment section that my biggest complaint with Warner Brothers Multiverse is that they have not earned it. Marvel earned it through Loki.
Well, it's been organically set up.
Yeah.
I'm praying and hoping the Flash movie makes the multiverse work, but we have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see on this one. But there's real quick here. Oh my God. Command Unit. 150 shekels. My goodness,
How
man.
many shekels is that?
That's
a lot.
I think US that's like $60.
Damn, Command
Yeah,
Unit.
thank
Dropping
you
that
so
heat.
much. So I'm gonna make you a fan of 40K no matter how much it costs me.
At this rate, you're buying him the books and everything.
I'm look, I'm just saying, don't give away the plot. All right? Like, shh. You gotta woo me. If you're telling, you're gonna make me feel cheap and easy, man. No, I'm kidding. All right, yeah, let's take. Oh, okay. You know what? I have to at this point. We're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch that short. We'll watch that short here. The Death Corp of Krieg, Warhammer 40K animation. Let me just make sure it's in the not out of 480p. Jesus, come on, there we go. All right, let's see how this one is. I at this point he earned it. He earned it. Let's do it. I like the depth of field.
No, for sure. He did super chat again. That said the wrong way.
Oh. Okay then. Well, I googled it. You see, here's the Death Corpse of Krieg is what it says. Wrong one. I don't know, man. You got to send me the right one. That's the one I googled.
Google lied to Matt Jarbo.
Google lied, man. You said it was 5 minutes. I went for the 5-minute one.
Apparently, it's by Sodas. SODAZ.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me go and find it. Okay, my bad. I didn't know that there was. Oh, okay. Okay. I believe this one.
Oh no, the chat.
What happened to the chat?
H Bart's here has a super chat, and then
restore the Charboverse, and then Jet Marbo here says, "What about the Marboverse?" Oh shit. Well, Google lied. That's right.
Google lied. People cried.
What about the Marboverse? Oh Jesus, you guys are killing me here. Okay. I think this is the one that he wanted me to see here. Hold on, I don't know. We'll try it again.
Take two.
Yeah, take two. I know.
We're doing it live. Fuck it.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill O'Reilly. All right, let me
What does good old Bill doing these days?
Actually, believe it or not, he's trying to get a sell tickets for an upcoming tour, or at least a speaking engagement in Florida with Trump, and they're having trouble selling tickets.
Huh.
Is this the right one? Warhammer 40K Death Corpse of Krieg Soda's real. This has got to be the right one. This has got to be it. Because I don't know what else it could be.
Oh wow, it looks like Anna finally watched the movie.
Oh yeah, holy shit, what a film. The DC has been saved. Damn straight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this movie with more people over the weekend. It's gonna be
absolutely. Yeah, I am looking forward to watching it again and doing.
I'll be seeing it twice. I'm gonna be watching it Saturday in IMAX in theaters again. I'll be watching it Saturday night again in the Discord watch party. So I'm gonna be watching this movie a lot.
Yeah, well, it's a good movie to watch. H Bart's here with another $2 saying Zack Snyder, and then Command Unit says this is the one. All right, cool. All right, let's react to the Death Corps of Krieg. Okay, that's much better animation.
Oh yeah, it looks really good.
shit, that looks awesome.
Kind of reminds me of Brotherhood of Steel.
A little bit.
Oh, it's just
Fuck
like
you.
Suicide. It's like the opening to Suicide Squad.
Oh shit. Oh.
Brutal.
Damn. Shit. Oh wow. That's some solid cinematography. Oh fuck. Holy shit.
Annihilated.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
There's so much effort had to probably go into this story.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Damn.
For a fan animation, that's very impressive. Like you know, it's impressive. But it was made by like a bunch of fans. That's really cool.
That was nuts, man.
The brutality, dude. That's crazy. I know nothing about Warhammer or 40K or any of that stuff, but like that's very interesting. It looks cool.
Yeah, Sam here says, wow, silence. Everyone's so into this.
I know. I was getting invested, dude. I was like, I don't want to talk about this.
That was really solid. That was really, really, really good. Real quick here, Jat Marbo, $3. Thank you. Or Matt Jarbo, Jat Marbo. Thank you. H Bart's here. William Kermit Shakespeare. Okay.
You know, I hope they do more of those Muppet parodies of like classic literature. You know, they did Treasure Island, and I'm like, I want more of that.
Muppet Treasure Island is the shit. So is Muppet Christmas Carol.
I love Muppet Christmas Carol. Only thing that pisses me off about that movie, they cut out the song that Michael Caine sings with Sweetheart. You can only get it in like the VHS and like the special features. It was a deleted scene that should have never been taken out. I'll put it that way. Release the better Muppet Christmas Carol cut. God damn it. I'm serious. Look it up, dude. They cut out that scene for no reason because of time. Because of goddamn Michael Eisner, I think.
Fucking Michael Eisner, man.
I could be wrong. It could have been someone else. Might have been Jeffrey Katzenberg. I don't remember. It was some douchebag who worked there at the time.
Well, you know, Disney has had its fair share of douchebags. That is true. Over the years. Let's see here. Shiny 311 says, just finished Suicide Squad. Loved it. Why didn't Max like it? I don't know. I think, look, I said earlier, Shiny, I think Max was heavily influenced by Ryan on the stream, because every time Max would bring something up, Ryan would just cut it down, and never mind like completely overlooking characterizations, character motivations, things along those lines. You know, like the point of a critic is to critique the art and try to explain its context and whether it succeeded or failed. By just going like, saying Weasel didn't have a character. That's not explaining anything, because he had a character. He had a bit of an arc. At the end, it subverted your expectations, and now Weasel might come back again. We'll learn more about him.
That's a nitpick too. Who gives a shit about Weasel?
I know. It's crazy. Yvonne here says, "Damn, I'm in Jotunheim." Yeah, pretty much.
Good luck if you're in Jotunheim.
Man,
we'll be there.
No. Again, how come no one is talking about the fact that Thinker had sex with Starro?
Nobody's talking about that.
And like when Starro was all like,
if Greg's was going to be offended by anything, I can understand that stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's like and he had his way with us, and then it cuts to a shot of him, and he just shrugs, goes like, eh, you know.
Yeah,
like,
they establish he's a sexual deviant. Like that dude manipulates the fuck out of people in that town, probably.
I know he'd been there. Well, he'd been there, like left, you know. And the thing is, they were killing all the political. They were killing all the political dissidents and all the journalists,
all the
rivals. And hey, guess what? In those kind of countries, that shit happens all the fucking time. So it's not out of the realm that this stuff goes down. Not at all. So many people. You're nitpicking like the stupidest shit. But it's like, instead of going like, oh, but that's it's a commentary on American imperialism. All right, fine. I can take that commentary. But how about the commentary of where like they actually like showed the hanging bodies of children from the general and the president after the coup?
I know, that was crazy to see. It's like, god damn.
They actually
I was like Ratcatcher too. I was like, don't show me that. Let me look away for a second. Like, damn.
Yeah. Elsa here says, Ratcatcher 2 is from my country. Very emotional to see Portugal and the city of Porto in the movie. Nice. Well, I'm glad you got that.
That's really
Elsa.
Cool to see.
I think Ratcatcher 2 is fantastic. And
someone interesting on Twitter, you know, what Ratcatcher wanted his backstory of being a drug addict, and now that played into his like, you know, life story. They're basically like homeless and on the streets, and the rats kind of, you know, took care of them. Somebody replied to James Gunn, said, it's really cool how you represented addiction in this movie, and I thought it was really heartfelt. And he said, yeah, someone struggling with addiction myself, that's what I wanted to do in this movie. You know, even subtle things like that, you can tell a lot of heart's put into, you know.
I didn't know he had an addiction problem.
Yeah, apparently James Gunn talked about that. I'll see if I can pull up the tweet. Let me see.
Okay. Like, I know that, I mean, clearly he's got, you know, I didn't know he had an addiction problem. I know he was married to Jenna Fisher for a long time. For the
I
guy.
put it in the private chat. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. Let me see that here. Okay. James Gunn said, I just want to, okay. As a recovering addict. Okay. Well, good. I mean, that's good. That shows a lot of desire to kind of overcome problems. I think that's why he liked this, because it, with what happened 3 years ago, people made him out to be a criminal. They made him out to be this terrible person. Mm-hmm. And so he wanted a redemption. He wanted a chance at redemption. And so he chose to, he could have done Superman. He could have done Superman.
MX Bravo brings up a good point too. Constantly falling asleep is related to heroin. That's something I didn't even think about when it comes to Ratcatcher 2.
Oh yeah. That's a good idea. Oh yeah. So what's up? The Paramount Plus South Park deal? 6 new seasons and 14 movies.
$900 million.
$900 million. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Shiny here says, I missed that part. It went over my head with the "he had his way with this" line. It was really the reaction from him of yeah, I did it.
Yeah, it's yeah, I did it. So
yeah, you know what I mean? I was testing. It was for science.
Ripped apart by Starro and flung into the window and just turned into goop. I was like, oh shit.
That was great. That was fucking awesome. I will say though, I believe going back to the Grace ring, she did make a good point about how it would have been cool if one of Starro's little mini starfish had actually taken over one of the Suicide Squad. That would have been pretty cool. If Polka Dot Man would have actually gotten his face covered, and then they had to fight Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, I could see that. It might have been
that'd be kind of cool. But I'm perfectly fine with the way it played out. But what was crazy was at the end, after they killed Starro and Ratcatcher 2 was saying her goodbyes to Polka Dot Man, she was literally standing over where his body had just been eviscerated into the pavement. The force of the hit just demolished it. His body was gone. Did you notice that?
Notice what?
Ratcatcher 2 Ratcatcher 2 at the end, when she was saying her goodbye to Polka Dot Man after they defeated Starro, his body was gone because the force of impact had just crushed it.
Mm.
And she was you see the Polka Dot Man outfit, and she's
the little mask.
The little mask, but his body is there's nothing of his body.
That's so crazy.
It's just gone. I mean, but man, it was his abilities were great. His abilities were awesome. I feel like he was kind of as odd as it is to say, him and her were the heart of the movie, because she wasn't bad. He was, but he also didn't want to be that way. But he accepted that was his fate. And I think, honestly, if you were to ask James Gunn which character did he put most of himself into, it probably would be Polka Dot Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably. There's a lot there.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think the biggest criticism some people are having right now, at least I'm seeing on social media, is the Amanda Waller stuff. People are not letting up over that because, well, she killed a room full of people in the 2016 movie. This is not the same character. I'm how do you know that? I mean, it's about pride and her being egotistical in that moment. Thinking she has full control. I don't know. It's just interesting to see, that's the one thing people aren't letting go of this movie,
Yeah, well, then again, look the situation in the last movie where she killed everybody. That was also inside of the war. They were there to get her out, and no one could be a witness to what happened. They were just gonna nuke the city or something.
Yeah, wasn't this in a government office or something? Official U.S. government property? She was
at the government in a government building. It wouldn't work that way. So no, that logic doesn't really apply.
Yeah.
Sorry. But we'll have to MX Bravo says James Gunn never talks about his mom. And here's the thing is Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was about stepfathers. And so I've asked him about that too, where he says it's about stepfathers and fathers and adopted fathers of all kinds. It's a movie about that, about appreciating your dad, and building up a solid relationship. And this one had a character with a lot of mommy issues, and other, you could say, touches upon addiction and things like that. And also people who are wanting to get a second chance and to be redeemed to an extent. You can see there's a lot of his personal life in these movies.
And that's what makes his movies great.
That's why I love his scripts. I love his scripts because I feel like there's a lot there I've been meaning to actually like draft him. I want to write him a letter. Like I know how to reach out to him directly. And I've wanted to just like sit down and like handwrite a letter, not email or nothing, but like just handwrite it and like mail it, as just like I don't know. Cause what I don't want to sit there and say what I went through and what he went through 3 years ago is similar, but the cancellation I think is similar. And maybe that's why I'm drawn to like his content the way that I am and why I defended him as badly as I did. Because when I think about, like what I went through was my own fault. What he went through was also his own fault. And you have to kind of learn with that. You have to grow with it and you have to like find a way through it.
Yeah, no, I relate to it too. It's why I defended him back when I went out too. Cause like I've made mistakes in my online life and personal life that I wish I could take back. And it's mistakes that I made and I had to grow and become a different person. Those mistakes still like live with me, but it's like, I just accept it as part of who I am. And I just have to live with the fact that I made those choices and move on from them,
Yeah. Well, I completely agree with you. MX Bravo here makes a good point. James got stories to tell worth listening to. I just feel he held back a little in the Suicide Squad. I think I can explain why, and this is just my take on it. My take on it is essentially look, there's a lot of attention on him.
Yeah. Well,
good and bad.
What was he holding back though? Is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering what both.
I don't know. I think
he held back on.
I think he held back because if you've watched like Slither or Super, how far held like they're in like Ellen Page or Elliot Page was in Super, right? As the love interest.
Yeah, the rape scene, right?
There was the rape scene with her on him, and then later on she gets shot in the head right in front of him. And she gets shot in the head right in front of Rainn Wilson, and like half her face is gone.
Jesus,
and he's got it.
Super. I just heard about it.
Yeah, and so she's dead, and it's shocking because it just happens. And like the movie's violent and it's dark and it's very, very satirical on superhero movies and vigilante films and things along those lines. There's a lot there with that one, and like Slither was more of like a high budget trauma film. Because Gunn got to start working with Lloyd Kaufman in the trauma movies. And those are very, very twisted and maniacal and crazy and violent and blurry and gory and bloody and everything else. There's a lot that goes into those movies on that front. And so, look at all the adult humor that he snuck into the Scooby-Doo movie. There's a lot of adult humor in that movie that went over kids' heads, but he was able to weave it in there pretty well. So he can run the gamut of storytelling, but I think these stories are honestly the most personal to him. And that is where maybe, because I'm, coming up on middle age and I just want these kind of stories where you can relate to these characters in a way. That's honestly why, like, I love Batman's arc in BVS, because Batman is, he doesn't understand Superman and our inherent, core, what's the word I want to use here? We want to kill what we don't understand. And that is something that is in every single one of us.
Yeah, and I think in a way I've come to realize that a lot of ways BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League in many ways are some of the most hopeful movies, because it's like, and in BVS it's like, no, men are still good. There's a lot of fucked up shit about humanity, but ultimately there are still good people out there, is the message at the end of that movie, right?
Yeah.
And Justice League is about bringing people back to the light when the world's full of darkness,
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot there. This is why I love the conversations about diving into these characters and diving into these stories and diving into the writing and looking at the world through the lens of the creators and what they're trying to say, and then applying it to our own take and our own experiences. But so much online quote unquote criticism is not criticism. It's nitpicking for the sake of fucking nitpicking. It's like I said, it's like, would you go to a plumber, a person who's never fixed a pipe, and go, hey, can you rebuild my kitchen? Like there are experts for a reason, unless you're a wine critic and then you just make it up as you go.
Right.
And that's been proven.
Let the booze do the talking.
Yeah. It fucks me up pretty good. It fucks me up real good. Yeah, like
It
fuck
has
it,
a
like
sweet
that.
taste at the beginning, but a sour
Yeah.
taste at the end.
It starts off like blueberries and tastes like cranberries. Makes my piss smell like freaking strawberries, man. Like I love this shit. Yeah, that's why I should just start getting drunk and reviewing booze that way. Like, oh, the taste is terrible, but give me 20 more. Anyway, let's see. Command unit here with another 30 shekels. Thank you, man. Says, I knew you would like Soda's work. Also, for the record, Death Corps of Krieg are just from one plant in the 40K universe, the planet of Krieg, and they are inspired by World War I Germany. Oh, okay. Well, I need to read up on this shit. I have no idea, but that was awesome.
Yeah,
That was
that's
wicked cool. I'm telling you, like look, I've been saying this for years, man. Like fucking refine that shit, which they can totally do now with the Unreal 5 engine. And like put that kind of crap in theaters. Look at what Neil Blomkamp has done with the Unity engine over on Oat Studios. That shit could easily be in theaters.
Crazy.
It's like there's no reason why this kind of animation is not making it in there.
The Unreal Engine 5, when they announced it and they did like that test run with like the flying lady in the desert, that shit looked like insane.
Just wait for the guys at Lucasfilm to get their hands on that and build it for Mandalorian in the volume, because they do use Unreal 4.
That's gonna be amazing.
They started off with, I believe, the Unity engine for the Lion King, and then they've moved to Unreal. And I think once they probably maybe already have a working prototype of Unreal 5.
Oh my god, dude!
But like
insane.
Once they get their hands on
Could
Unreal,
you imagine Lucasfilm like with that technology doing like Mandalore? Oh Jesus!
I'm just saying, like,
Christ.
give it 10 years and it's like Avatar. James Cameron is going to play catch up real quick. But I will definitely look more into 40K stuff. I didn't know what was happening in that short film, but I really thought it was a good short film.
Yeah.
So, okay. Benson here says, Matt, you were not well. Stop blaming yourself. Things could have been handled different, but I appreciate the concern.
No, that's the thing. Like it takes someone with integrity to realize when they made a mistake and own up to it. Like you're not like nobody like I don't know. I guess in the end, I admire people who can admit when they make a mistake and like own up to the fact that they've done so instead of like saying, "Oh no, that's fine. I didn't do anything wrong." You know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times where I'm like, everyone goes through those moments. You're kind of like, oh, F you. But you have to acknowledge why things happened and how they happened and your part in them. And I think that's kind of like, I'll be fair. Like, that's why if you guys are familiar with the Matt Jarbo channel, I haven't touched it in a while. And I just don't have a desire to at this point. I like
it's
streaming.
Like why at this point?
It's like, why, you know, I can do this. I have a small audience that is growing as time goes on. And I'm really appreciative of everyone who listens. And I try to be as thankful as I possibly can. And I always want to hear your guys' thoughts and concerns, obviously. And that's kind of how I view that. But anyway, I don't want to drag this part of it on. This is all kind of mushy stuff anyway. And it is 1:20 in the morning Pacific. And I do need to get to bed.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Everyone, thank you guys so much. Thank you, RJ, for coming on and hanging out for this whole 2.5 hours. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I had a great time being on.
And obviously, I know RJ is doing his own stream for Suicide Squad on Sunday.
Yeah, it's Sunday night. I think it's at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So,
okay.
Yeah, that'll be Sunday night. Gives enough people time to watch the movie. I figured I might move it to tomorrow. I don't know yet, but I'm thinking I'm just going to leave it at Sunday because I think Sunday works out best for everybody.
Sure. I'll probably be working, so I'll listen in and I'll probably be chatting in the chat, but I'll be definitely paying attention to it. So be sure to go check that one out because it's going to be a fun convo.
Yeah, probably a lot of people are going to be on that panel too, so it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight. I'm going to be yelling at it from inside my car. Is what's going to happen. I'll be yelling at my phone like, just stop talking, Max. You don't know what you're talking about. But in the meantime, you guys are fantastic. Thank you very much. Love you too, Music Man. Thank you, everybody, for coming on in again. We'll talk again tomorrow night for another episode of Hollywood After Dark. Remember, here's a question of the day. Which movie best describes the 1990s? Let me know down in the comment section. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great night. Thank you again, and peace the fuck out.